3, 2, 1.
AM in the PM only on A2D Radio. These guys are fucking awesome.
What's up, family? Welcome to a little PHIX / AM and the PM combo show right here on A2D Radio. We're taking back what's ours tonight, people. We're taking back what's ours, and we officially did. We are back on the main page of A2D Radio. So everybody on A2D Live, listen, you can find us on A2D Radio. Common sense, but we're back. We got a big show in store for you. Tom Arnone, Ryan Brodo, Frank Vespe, Greg Milakovic, Ralph Dellavecchio, the family out there joining us. We are brought to you by our doc. Gotta make him yours. That's Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, Burlington, Cherry Hill, Princeton locations. Find them on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. Dumbest thing of the week, later on in the show. We want yours, and there's always plenty. MLB's return proposal. You know, it's a list of things, and we'll discuss if we think the players will accept it. Eagles running back rumors, and there's only a few. And again, it's rumors, but we'll talk about the 3 or 4 potential guys that make this running back room a little deeper. And our main topic at hand is the Eagles' 2020 offseason improvements. All right, and that ties right into our poll question brought to you by Ambuck Services, AMBUCK Services.com. 20% off. Telling the boys from A2D Radio sent you. Gutters, gutter guard, everything. Anything outside your house, they got you taken care of. AmbuckServices.com. The poll question, the Eagles roster is better now than it was in 2019. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. That's where we're live, and everywhere you get your podcast, you can find us as well. Let's talk about it, family. We're going to dissect this deeper than just a poll question. We're going to go by position, and we're going to tell you which position's better. And then we're going to have it at the end of the day. Which one wins? And I'm going to tell you right from Jump Street. This football team today, on paper, is better than the football team last year on paper. And honestly, it's close, but this football team's deeper. And that's the big key. So a lot of positions may say similar, but this football team's deeper. And I think when we dissect it and we get deep into it tonight, we're going to see that. We're going to see that come to fruition. So I'm excited to talk about it, boys. And the poll, the Eagles roster is better now than it was in 2019. Like I said, I agree. I mean, the additions you made, what you lost wasn't that big, essentially, outside of Malcolm. And you added the shutdown corner you needed. You moved the guy to safety that can play safety. So, you went and upgraded your defensive tackle room again and made you stronger up front. And offensively, you went out in the first round. You got yourself your wide receiver, right? You still have Deshaun coming back, which you had last year. Alshon maybe back, who knows, right? But you got deeper there. Your tight end room, we know what that is. So, I mean, you look at it, this football team should be better now. But when we dissect it, we're going to find out more. But I completely agree with the poll question. It's a better football team right now.
Mr.
Ryan,
Ralph?
Greg, Ralph, Frank, family.
Mr. Ralph?
Anybody? Can you hear me?
Yeah. I thought Ryan was going to go, so I'll go.
Mr. Ralph? Mr. Ralph?
Let's see. I agree to the poll question. The same as you, Tommy. This football team, and just in general, is a lot deeper. If you look at back in 2019, especially on the defensive line, you didn't really have that much depth last year that you do now in the defensive line as well. Obviously, with the wide receivers last year, not that really. After Alshon and Deshaun, after those guys, it was really slim pickings. This year, you have 15 of them to pick from. So, I mean, you want to talk about depth there. There's a lot of depth there. But, I agree to the poll question. I think this team on paper is better than what it was last year.
Pooty, what up, baby?
What up, Pooty?
Yeah, I agree with you.
For me, I agree as well. I would say the biggest concern heading into the offseason a handful of months ago was that, we knew that it was going to be a different kind of offseason because Howie Roseman and obviously the Eagles organization, they kept talking about a wave of youth moving on from obviously the past faces, obviously, Malcolm Jenkins at the top of that list and Jason Peters for now, Mr. Dellavecchio.
Went a little deeper with that youth movement, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, in terms of we're going to go so youth that we're going to draft our replacement quarterback. But
yeah. Apparently, they're already looking for a replacement for a guy who's only 27, 28 years old, which is a little ahead of the curve. But again, Howie's Howie. You looked at that and you said, okay, well, obviously, when you move on from veterans and guys who have experience, you have a lack of experience. But I think more so, especially on the defensive side of the ball, they did a really good job of filling the pieces. Obviously starting with a guy like Darius Slay, who's not really youth, but he's somebody who's a legit, member of the secondary, somebody who can bring somebody in to add kind of a culture changer to that secondary unit and pretty much the defense. Because you go from a secondary that has struggled for, God, it feels like 10 years now. It seems like it was an endless struggle in the secondary. Now you're getting a guy to lead that pack who not only is very good at his position, but actually knows how to turn around and actually look and try to catch the football instead of, seems like the last couple of years where it seemed like none of our guys knew how to turn around, cover, or even have the opportunity to make an interception. On the offensive side of the ball, yeah, I mean, I can understand the criticisms, of a lot of people over the last handful of weeks of, we wanted speed, but can they run a route? Listen, anything's better than Nelson Aguilar. Anything's better than Matt Collins. And they went out and got speed. We've been preaching for speed. We've been begging for speed. And Carson Wentz has been begging for the same thing as well. So I think you look at that and you saw what Carson Wentz in this offense was able to do with just a little bit of speed with Torrey Smith. It was Torrey Smith. He was a shell of himself in 2017. Now you're getting guys to grow with Carson and to be almost insurance policies if you need them for a guy like Deshaun Jackson, who has proven that he can't stay healthy for a full 16, 17 games. So now you put all of it together and you still have room for growth, mainly in the running back position. I absolutely think it's a better roster today than it was last year.
Yeah, I mean, they went out and they addressed the wide receiver position. Now, how good is it? We're going to find out. But, I mean, I'm confident, and obviously I'm going to try to be confident in my first round pick, right? I'm going to put a stock into that and confidence in that kid can play. I want to, so I'm going to put that faith in him. So I don't actually think the wide receiver core is better because I hope to get some Alshon as well. Right. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping to get the three of them be big time impactful for my football team moving forward. So, just right there, you're better. I don't even need to get into what else you brought in deeper than you went out and got Jalen Reagor. You have Greg Ward back. You have Deshaun and you have Alshon. And they're sort of like the four with JJ that you're riding with. And these other guys will go win a job then. You know what I mean? That's what them other guys are. They're like, can you go beat one of these guys out? And you created a little bit of competition, but, right there is your five. And then if you go six, it's up to one of them guys to win it. Unless Alshon's hurt, then obviously you keep another one. But you know what I mean? They're the ones that are up for grabs because them five are locks. They're locks to be on this team roster, period. So then you go on. If you carry six, who's the extra one? But it creates competition. So the room's definitely better. Greg, Ralph?
I already went.
I'll agree. I agree to the poll. I don't necessarily – with the
don't make me come down there, Ralph.
with the amount of options you now have at the wide receiver position, I'm not going to sit there and lock Greg Ward in. But he's definitely on the bubble that someone has to beat him for. So I agree with that. I want
to ask you a question though. Why?
Yeah.
He's not locked into the fifth spot on this roster.
Not when you go and draft three guys and you trade for Marquise Goodwin.
But
you know what I mean?
I understand that, but you also don't give me Marquise Goodwin. That trade's irrelevant when you talk about the 6th round.
I understand that. I don't disagree, but there's another body in there.
You're saying that, and you're talking about Watkins making this team over Greg Ward. So that means calm down right now. Let's pump the brakes. Hightower will probably be on this team, if not Goodwin. One of them two are really fighting for that 6th spot. So I don't know what the hell. Like I don't know what else.
I'm just not putting a whole lot of faith and good hopes into Greg Ward.
Who is putting their faith and high hopes.
You said he's a lock to make the team. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna cement him as a lock right now.
As well as your fifth guy, to me, that's pretty much that 5's a lock to me. That 5's a lock. Anybody wants to debate it? Let's go. Because I mean, it's the only guy who called footballs last year.
I don't disagree.
Say, oh well,
you added a whole bunch of other guys too, so he's got to show out again. He's got to make sure and win that job.
Absolutely, but you added late picks. It's not like you went out like outside of Jalen Reagor, like the Hightower because he's a 4th. Okay, I'll buy into that. Outside of that, the rest is irrelevant. They got to go win a job somehow. Watkins and Marquise Goodwin aren't guaranteed on this football team.
No, not at
Greg
all.
Ward's more guaranteed than both of them.
I would agree, but I'm not going to sit there and stamp. All right, he's my lock. He's in. I'm just not going to do that. You do it. That's fine.
Marquise Goodwin's irrelevant, and Greg Ward had a better year and not even the same amount of time, and less time probably.
Yeah, there's no argument here.
Well, the one guy was probably hurt all the time. So that's all. I don't know where he,
I'm just saying, if it's taken him that long and that depleted of a current roster to make an impact on this team, there's probably something else going on to where I'm not going to lock him in there at my number 5.
Yeah, well, that's ridiculous that you're even not up in arms about your 5th, and that you won't take a guy that's shown he can be productive as your 5, and then you're going to hang your hat on a bunch of fucking late round picks. Is disgraceful. That's disgraceful.
I'm not hanging my hat on anyone. I'm just saying it's an open competition.
Yeah, we're playing Madden. It's your pick. I understand it. Your heart's with the guys. So that means Jalen should start then too. He has a chance to beat out Carson for the quarterback position.
Where are you going with that? I had no thought in that at all.
Picks hold so much damn value.
They don't hold any value. I'm just saying I'm not locking Greg Ward in. It's an all open competition at that point. That's it.
All right, you made it out to like I'm crowning the guy. Like I'm not locking him in. Like
you locked him in, so you did kind of crown him.
So he can be so he can be productive, and I'll take a shot. The other 2 guys can go try to win the 6th spot. I don't know what's so wrong with that.
There's nothing. I'm just not locking him in like you did. That's it.
All right.
It's a difference of opinion.
There you go. Well, you're wrong.
That's fine. I usually am.
That's all.
So yeah, I agree. We're good.
So,
no. That was my only option. That was my only opposite of what you guys have all said. I agree with you guys with everything you guys have all said. I would probably argue that once we get into it, there's certain positions that I would argue might be not as good or equal to last year. But as an overall team, because of the moves we've made and the positions that we've added depth. Now, whether that depth turns out to be quality or that depth just turns out to be pure numbers on a piece of paper is obviously a completely different situation, But yes, overall on paper as a team right now, yes, this team is better than it was last year.
Yeah, you were right there. I just didn't like the call out. That's all.
I just don't. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I felt disrespected by it a little bit because of the way you went about it. And
wow,
Jimmy's right. Jimmy, I mean, you're not going to have to, Jimmy.
Yikes.
Okay.
Well, I found our comment for tomorrow, Tom.
Well, Jimmy, listen, you're not going to have to, baby. You're good to go. You are golden in this situation.
I'm not saying he's not going to make the team. I'm just saying I'm not locking him in.
Hold on. You just said you don't think he's not making the team. That's what you just said to me. You don't
No. I said it's not like he can't make the team.
As your 5th guy becomes this uproar from you early on. Yeah, so you're wrong again. I mean,
it's always going to come down to Alshon's going to start the year on the PUP or the injured list anyway, so he's going to make the team regardless. I'm still just saying I'm not locking him in. He's not one of my guys that I'm writing down in Sharpie going into the year like, hey, we got to keep Greg Ward. We cannot cut him for any reason whatsoever.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm good. I'm going to go with a guy. I'm going to go a guy in a shortened offseason year in a way that knows the offense, that showed he can be productive with Carson, right? I'm going to keep that guy around. I won games with that guy, so I'm going to keep it around. I mean, it's about a locker room. It's bigger than, you're going to put the kid Watkins in over him. No, I'm good.
What up, Bryce?
Because now you're falling in love with 40 times, honey.
You keep bringing up Watkins. I didn't even bring him up.
Who else is making it? Hightower, I told you, is the other guy. So then it's Marquise Goodwin and Watkins are by. That's what happens unless you keep 7. And I don't know if you're keeping 7. So that's the only other option. Frank, go ahead.
I don't see us having 7. I'd be very shocked if we go with 7 wide receivers. To answer the poll, on paper, I do agree. We did address a lot of issues in the offseason, especially with the cornerback position. We added Nickel Roby Coleman. We added Darius Slay. We add a little extra to the defensive line by adding Javon Hargrave. Offensive wise, there is some question marks, especially with the running backs. You know, who's going to back up Miles Sanders? Who's going to back up Boston Scott? I mean, there are some questions with the running back position. Wide receivers, I love how they got extra speed by acquiring a Jalen Rager at 21, John Hightower, Quez Watkins, and even trade for Marquise Goodwin. I know we'll be addressing those positions later on in the show. But, you know, I think adding extra speed to wide receivers definitely helps out Carson, you know, and that's definitely what Carson needed all last season after the lack of production from those wide receivers. But right now, looking at this on paper, I think it's a definitely improved team. Is it going to be better than the 2019 team? We'll just see. It's going to be very fun comparing last year to this year's team.
Hey, Ralphie, Don has a question for you.
No comment. Next question, please.
Don, yes, absolutely.
You want to do round two, Ralphie? You want to do round two?
Brendan Mulligan, what's up, fellas? As always, great show. Do you think the Eagles are better off signing McCoy or another running back? We're going to get into that in a little bit, but no, other. I'll go other. And
other.
I'll say it. Devontae Freeman.
Other.
Yeah, and Gavin Keller just said it. You know, Devontae Freeman's the guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, but I wouldn't be like pissed if it was LeSean. I wouldn't be like, I wouldn't also be running down Broad either. So you know what I mean? I'm like sort of in the like, you know what I mean with them.
Like we talked about last week, we'll take him because he's better than Corey Clement and the undrafted guys. But there's clearly Freeman's clearly better than him, and also he's younger.
My man Joey Moffitt in the house. What up, Joey? He says Ward was his clutch in terms of Carson outside of Ertz, and he was. He grew a little bit of a relationship with him. So, you know, I'm going to try to keep them guys around. Wasn't it about putting weapons and guys my quarterback wants around him? Wasn't that part of the offseason plan? Maybe I missed something. I don't know. I don't know if I went in the offseason plan saying Quez Watkins was going to be my guy. That's going to be my difference maker. Nor do I think any fifth wide receiver is really going to be your difference maker. But Greg can play special teams too. So he adds that other element that some of the other guys probably can't do. Right. So,
and I would agree with that. Absolutely.
Again, I mean, I'm just here to drop it.
Yeah, just keep dropping mics because we're going to lock in Greg Ward.
Because you're making it outlandish like I'm crowning him, but he's on this roster.
We are. We're crowning a fifth-round guy that was shagging groceries at Wawa 3 weeks ago.
And you're crowning a fifth-round guy who never did anything in the NFL, or a sixth-round guy.
I'm not crowning anybody. I just said that fifth wide receiver is an open competition. That's
You're
it.
disrespectful. You're disrespectful because we had a man on yesterday that did the hard way, Greg.
He
and
did.
now you're going to get disrespectful. That's what you're going to do. That was disrespectful to a legend. Because it doesn't. Vaughn Hebron was on too. Another guy. All right, and that guy worked the hard way. So don't go always give me. It's got to be the pretty boy. Right?
It's got to be a pretty boy.
That's like it.
Greg Ward's been around for 5 years, and he's just cracked it at the back end of the year with no wide receivers against a shitty part of our schedule.
Ralph, take the stupid hat off. All right, stop shaking your head because you're both wrong. At the end of the day, who did he? Greg, he was a quarterback. So I
know he was. Process. I loved him at Houston.
That's why he's a lock.
I wish we would have saw more of the Wildcat, the special trick plays QB factory with Greg Ward.
See, you're missing Tom's point. He's a lock because he used to be a quarterback, and we're a quarterback factory. That's
we also got another quarterback turned receiver in Khalil Tate. So hey, another extra piece in the quarterback factory right there.
That's why he's a lock. Forget about what he did last year. He's a lock because he was a quarterback.
Greg, I think he did the hard way, and that makes him even more of a worker, in my opinion. And that's why
I like Greg Ward. I really do.
I put workers on my football team. You know what I mean? I gotta have some workers. I gotta have some dogs. I gotta have some hungry guys, and hungriness and an edge can lead to more success, especially when we're talking about a fifth wide receiver. I mean, this is stop, but he's on the team.
I know, but that's why I'm so shocked that you're going to staple him in as a piece of this roster.
Greg, I'll staple what I believe.
Okay, and I don't believe it, so that's fine.
Grown-ups do.
Yeah.
They stamp. And I love this comment out of Don. Watching Darius Slay every Sunday, he don't take no playoff. And hearing it from a Lions fan means even more about the signing, right? Because you hear it from outside.
That's why I wanted him last year. You know what I mean? That's why I wanted that deal done at the deadline. You know, when those rumors started circulating early portion of last year, you know, when we obviously fell out of the Fitzpatrick and the Jalen Ramsey, it's like, hey, let's go get Darius now. But they finally did get it done, and I was super stoked about it.
Yeah, me too. Peter, I don't know why I just petered him. Pete, by the warning. I read what's on the prompter. Gavin Keller, Greg Ward is a lock. Gavin, preach to the run underneath me, please.
Yep.
I mean, try to give some insight on
Greg and
there's two of them. One's got a stupid hat on. One acts like he's in the personnel with the shirt on down there.
Yeah, I mean,
Greg and Ralph.
might have got it from the NFL shop, might have not.
Player personnel from Greg.
Are you guys at the bottom trying to say that?
My sources tell me.
Are you?
My sources tell me that the fifth receiver position is open.
Hey, sources.
Remember SourceGate? Don't start. Don't start. I don't got time for this tonight.
Are you guys at the bottom trying to say that it's going to be an open competition between Ward, Watkins, and Goodwin? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
For that final spot?
I think there's four locks.
They're not saying nothing. They're talking in circles. They have no agenda. It's making zero sense.
The fifth spot should be open. Should be open for open competition.
I think
absolutely. Absolutely.
The who?
The fifth spot should be open competition. Absolutely.
Against who?
The 6.
The 6.
The 6 should be open. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Three
I mean,
guys,
it's
one
just
spot.
very rarely. But very rarely have we kept 6 wide receivers to that point, right?
Yeah.
So that fifth spot is generally that spot to your point, Greg Ward with that's where Hank when I go Hank Basket.
Don't do that to me. Don't do Hank Basket.
Listen, man, they drafted a lot of receivers that aren't going to make.
Who's the kid from North Carolina that I'm blanking on?
Don't matter.
Mac Hollins.
Oh,
Mac Hollins.
I like to floss Hollins.
Yeah. That's where his ability to play special teams, which Greg Ward can play special teams. Obviously gives him a nod over, my favorite guy apparently in Quez Watkins and Marquise Goodwin, because they probably don't, right? Quez probably didn't play at Southern Miss, and we obviously know, Goodwin wasn't on the field long enough to ever play it in San Fran.
I mean, you're right. Jimmy's on fire tonight, my brother. He says, Greg Ward can father my babies, and I'm a guy. And I'm not that deep lock into him. I'm not there, Jimmy, but I do believe he makes this team, and I would love to debate it. And Greg's trying to, and the more Coke he puts into his body down there, the more, and I'm talking about the soda version. The more he thinks he's going to be able to win this argument, and it's just I can't believe we're arguing over a fifth wide receiver, but it's also factually makes this team. Especially because of the offseason and the way it's gone and the issues we're in. I'm going to read off a couple more, and then we're going to dive into some of our breakdowns. All right? Yep. And Don's still not happy about losing this player over there in Detroit, but I love what they did, Don. To me, Mr. Swift, the Philly boy, that's a big-time get for you guys in the second round. It's a steal. Mm-hmm. I love him. And with him and Kerryon Johnson, him and Kerryon Johnson are going to be a great 1-2 punch in Detroit. Matthew Stafford officially has a running game in Detroit now, and a little two-headed monster action.
Yeah, and they upgrade the offensive line, and obviously you got probably the second best pure player in the draft in Okudah.
Yeah,
to replace Slay. So
Michael Bryant, underrated move is signing Hargraves and Malik Jackson go outside. That's so factual, Mike, because at the end of the day, a lot of his sacks in Jacksonville came from the defensive end position. Not that he didn't have success inside, because he does, but a lot more came from the outside for him. So, I mean, it's a huge move in terms of being able to make that little shift, and then you make yourself a little bit deeper. That 3 L's. So, Mr. Hoolis, who was the rush spot between Watkins and Hightower? Toss up a coin, but I'll go Hightower.
Hightower.
And do y'all think the Redskins in the NFC adding Chase Young on that stacked D line? Absolutely, brother or sister.
Yeah, I mean, I still think they're, especially on the offensive end because of the quarterback, I still think they're a year or two away to being serious contenders, but they're scary as hell to play this year.
Oh, yeah.
From that defensive side.
Great, loaded up front, loaded. Eagles champ 1. Marquise Goodwin is a lock. It's going to make this team. No, I mean, maybe.
Maybe.
Might get injured on the way to the freaking stadium.
Yup, if you want more injury, there's a guy. Can't miss him on the way.
No, he'll be a lock because he gets hurt, and we love guys who gets hurt.
We love it. We eat it up.
That's a culture right there.
So let's go. We'll go. We got a couple more. Hold on.
Oh.
Don. I became a fan of y'all podcast when I seen y'all draft reaction. My man.
Nice.
My
Nice.
man.
Thanks, Don.
You found joy in our misery. We appreciate
Mr.
it.
Motley talking about huge deal.
Probably Jalen Hurts being the number 2.
Oh, he's talking about with the to Reggie's comment. He says off topic, but is it a big deal or not that teams won't be able to have the normal offseason workouts that they have every year, especially for the teams with new coaching staff? Looking at you, Dallas, Washington, and New York with 3 double emojis at the end.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially for a team like the Buccaneers.
It's about timing.
Yeah.
It's about timing in this league, right? And if you don't get that timing down, that's tough. You know, I know guys are probably starting to throw at each other a little bit,
Right.
But still.
Well, Florida just opened up. Florida's just opened everything
Florida's
up for sports. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, no, it is a huge deal, and I even thought of that going into the draft. And you might start seeing teams draft guys where they've had coaches work in the last couple of years to where they're familiar with those guys and maybe the system that they work in, right? But that obviously didn't. You can't obviously draft everybody but yeah, I think teams where states are already open, like Florida, have a little bit of advantage. I don't think Tampa Bay is going to be that much of an issue just because Tom's the GOAT.
yeah,
And I think he can make it work.
he gets along with everyone.
areas. But it is a huge deal because you're missing out on a lot of work.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot.
Prism has an all-time. I'm not going to click it yet because I'm going to lose Kenny's because Kenny's was at the top. But he says, what offseason moves do you think the Eagles might still do? When do you think Peters will get re-signed for a 1-year deal? Hopefully during the show so I can see Ralph's reaction.
Yeah, I mean, you're just going to see a ridiculous reaction. A guy who doesn't want to be deeper, a guy who doesn't want to win right now. I mean, that's fine.
I said my piece on it. I'm not getting back into this.
There's no piece. You didn't say a piece.
Yeah, I did, and I was pretty right the whole entire time. Too.
Yeah, because we don't want to be deeper. Because God forbid, Diller can't play. Then we're in trouble. So let's not even do
God.
this. You want to put all your faith in it.
So you're calling Andre Dillard a bust already?
Never said that.
Nobody said don't
I would like to have an insurance policy.
Okay.
In a Hall of Famer. Good insurance policy, Ralph.
Yeah.
All
Offsides, 71.
Nobody said he's got to win the job. Nobody said he's got to win the job.
Oh, man.
But why not make sure?
Ralphie, would you bring him back a guard? Ralphie, you bringing him back a guard?
No, because I have
so that's an agenda.
line.
You have an agenda then. So now you're anti-Peters.
I'm
Anti-Pete.
done with him.
I told you, don't go to the Hall.
It's time to move on.
Don't go to the Hall of Fame induction with a jersey and your
I'm not going. I think I will
That
be
ain't gonna
there.
fly around
I know that for a fact.
That ain't flying
I'm
around
going in Ohio. There ain't nothing to do in Ohio.
That's a disgrace that you're disrespecting even more now. Now it's really.
I can't believe you disrespected the state of Ohio.
Well, screw the state of Ohio. But in terms of Jason Peters,
there's nothing to do in Ohio.
Yeah, thank you, Greg.
And a lot of people don't trust Dillard right now. I mean, you can put all your faith. That's your blind side. Did you all watch the movie? You don't understand why they get paid as much as quarterbacks do. It's an important position, Ralphie, and everybody out there. So
you have no hope in Andre Dillard, and it's showing week by week. It's showing.
Listen, then keep.
You don't have no hope in Andre Dillard. It's okay to say that.
Does he progress in Madden?
What does that not have to do with anything?
Does he progress in Madden?
Yeah, he does. He does.
How much, Ralph?
A couple here and there.
Yep. See, they don't even believe.
Oh my God.
Computer generations don't even believe. This is what we're dealing with. But you believe.
I do believe in Dillard because we moved up and got him at 22 last year.
Ralphie,
I gotta believe.
Ralphie, can I ask you just a real quick question?
What's up, buddy?
If they truly believe, hey, buddy, how are you? Good to hear from you. If they truly believed in Andre Dillard, do you think these rumors would be circulating?
Well, I think there's a circulating because the news medias are bored. They're bored and they gotta find something
we're
to
playing
put something
that card.
up.
We're playing that card for
It's
38-year-old left tackle.
And you obviously see it. You see it during the NBA offseason as well with all the the super rumors that come out because these media guys are bored, so they got to throw something at the wall and hopefully it
So
sticks.
we're saying Jason Peters is Kawhi Leonard now. We're doing this.
What are you talking about, Kawhi Leonard? In what fashion?
That was the offseason NBA rumor last season. So that was the Kawhi. So
What?
You're comparing this to that?
Absolutely not.
Well, you brought it up. You're reaching.
How does Jason Peters compare with Kawhi Leonard?
You brought up NBA offseason last year. The
They're in
ridiculous rumors.
different sports.
You're struggling.
I'm not struggling. I just want to know how Jason Peters and Kawhi even out.
Listen, buddy, I didn't bring him up. I did not bring up NBA
You brought
offseason.
up Kawhi though.
Listen,
how does that even out?
Like, when there's smoke, there's fire when it comes to Jason Peters returning to the Philadelphia Eagles. That's just
if they wanted to re-sign him, he would be here already, right, Tommy?
common sense. Not
Right?
necessarily.
Right, that's common sense.
Why is
If he wanted to be here already, he would have been signed
Does the
already,
season
right?
start tomorrow? Does the season start tomorrow?
Forgot everybody's Howie Roseman. So
Does the
forgot
season start
everybody
tomorrow?
has a key card to the NovaCare complex.
Yeah.
Forgot
My
about
card
that.
works.
Does the
Yeah,
season
forgot about
start
that.
tomorrow?
I got the polo on.
Except for Greg, he's player personnel.
Ralph, does the season start tomorrow?
No, it does not start
So why do we
tomorrow,
need
Ryan.
to rush
Starts
and
in
sign him
September.
today? So why do we need to sign him now?
Why not? So you can do the virtual workouts to see if he's
Oh my God, he knows the workout. Ralph, shut the hell up.
Does he?
the workout.
Does he?
They were crying during
Does
the
he? You can go out in your backyard right now and put a 30-second clip and put it up on the internet and be like, I'm still working out.
They were just teared up during a virtual
Did he?
one today.
Did he?
Probably.
Reportedly. Sources say. Greg's sources
guys
say
are
he
crazy.
Nick
was
saying,
crying.
are we just going to pretend our linebackers are okay? Nope.
Yeah, Nick, I'm still
No.
waiting. Nick.
Ain't nobody
I mean, this
putting
is
here.
crazy.
And then he chimes in right after that, and he talked about we're going to regret not drafting Patrick Queen for a decade.
Yep.
Couldn't agree more. This is when me and Ralphie come full
Yep.
circle.
You could slash Murray on that too, but
Yep.
yes.
Yep.
I mean, listen, their first two picks.
I feel like
I would
both of
rather
those
go
guys
first
right
and
now are already all pros. I feel like they're Hall of Famers already because we didn't pick them.
Who would you, real quick, and then we're going to get in our roster breakdown. Who would you rather have? Jalen Reagor and Jalen Hurts, or Patrick Queen and J.K. Dobbins?
Patrick Queen and J.K. Dobbins.
Not even.
Let me think about that one.
Not even close.
Yeah,
Patrick Queen and
it's
J.K.
the latter.
Dobbins.
It's the latter. Absolutely.
And even if you would have went Rieger in the first, you could have went Bond in the second from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He
One
was
more
still
thing.
available at 53.
One more thing, and Michael Taylor brings up a point that I talked about, and the Bring Peters Back guys talked about. Not bringing him back for depth is really idiotic. I'd love to see Dillard beat JP out for that spot. That cements he's ready.
Yes,
That's
sir.
what I was saying.
I would love to see the fire.
Dillard, if JP does come back, Dillard's going to grab that spot. So it don't even matter.
So what are you worried about then? Why are you lashing out? Then you
matter.
You have nothing to worry about then. Did Tom freeze?
No.
I think
He's
so.
not up.
Oh.
He's not frozen.
Oh God!
He was just waiting. He was just waiting to go at Ralphie.
You just said you agreed with what Michael said, which is what I've been saying to you. You're an issue. I can't anymore. I went out told you the other day, bring him back, and if he wins the job, right? If he wins the job, Dillard, then he's ready to go. But create the competition there. Make the crying go away and say, if you want something, go win it, babe.
That should be your starting left tackle from day one.
Well, if he's not right, if he's not good enough, then the insurance policy's there. Why are you doing it?
So if Andre Dillard's not good enough, so then if Andre Dillard's not good enough to play left tackle, and JP does come back and he beats Andre Dillard out, then how does that make Howie Roseman look though? Then if he traded up last year at 22,
he traded Jalen Hurts at 53. How's he already look?
Yeah.
So then what happens with Howie Roseman?
Yeah, listen, the look good stuff's over. All right. Now can you go to a fourth consecutive playoff?
Ralph, would you rather have Dillard suck and not have Jason Peters as a backup plan and have to go to freaking Matt Pryor or the Prince, Amuka, whatever the hell his name is? Or would you rather Dillard suck and have Jason Peters there? Would you rather have the quarterback healthy?
My only thing with the whole Peters thing is, and it's just because of who the guy is, right? He's such a pillar in the league, in history, at the position. I don't know if he's going to come back for nothing less than almost a guaranteed starting spot, right? I have no issue if he's coming. I have no issue if he's coming in and he knows he's, Dillard's got to battle him and stuff like that. I'm good with it. But
he's going, it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be like, listen, we're not guaranteeing you a spot. You got to go win it.
I understand that,
but does he accept that though?
If everywhere is giving him the same thing, if everywhere's giving him the same type of opportunity, he's just going to stay here.
Then you're right. Maybe he's made that adjustment, right? And
that's what I think's happened. That's why the conversation circled back, Greg. Because
and that's fair because I just think you just look at him and he's like, well, I can still play in this league, so I'm going to go find a starting role somewhere, and I'm only going to come back for a starting role. And if I don't get it, then am I really going to come back, right? And that's just kind of my thought.
No, that's spot on. And like, I'll come back because I didn't get like you're saying, I didn't get what I was expecting out there. So I'll swing back around, see what you guys doing. You guys home?
All right, let's see. Let's go battle the kid.
You guys home for $7.5 million?
Yeah.
Well, I think
So
that's
what's the most you're giving Jason Peters? If you were going to bring Jason Peters back, how much you giving him? What's that year contract going to look like?
I don't care. $8 million,
$5 million, $6 million.
Who cares? You're under the cap this year.
Oh my God!
Your money don't carry over. Cap it.
Oh my God!
Well, you have money left, Ralph. At this point,
money left.
Money
left.
$8 million for a 38-year-old, 39-year-old left tackle.
You're like 20 million under the cap, Ralph.
There we go, boys. There we go.
I'm with you to a point, Ralph. But at this point of free agency and this season, everyone's signed. Like the money you have is the money you have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I'm not giving them $8 million though.
For 1 year, why not?
Nah, not doing that.
It's not carryover money, Ralph.
I don't care if it's carried money over. You can get him on a cheap deal.
It's not your money though, bro. Now, I'm not giving him a multi-year deal because we got some work to do on this roster.
Yeah, absolutely.
This year.
Absolutely.
DJ Smith, Peters is not going to sign anywhere else unless he's promised a starting spot. Flat out. Yeah, I don't fully agree with that. I don't think he's going to get that promised starting spot like he thinks he is.
He probably would have already gotten it.
So
that point,
that's all. That's just what I believe in it, but that's fine. So now we're going to go and break down what roster is better. All right.
We'll send them back. Send us Okuda
and Swift.
Frank, you want to share your screen?
Yes.
Share screen.
Yeah, I'll take Swift too. You're right.
Right.
And we'll hire his dad as a strength and conditioning guy.
I love him. $8 million for security of your QB. People call injury prone. Sign me up. Facts.
Oh my God.
Facts. He's always right. He's always like, he should just come. Mr. Motley, you might just need to start coming
this year.
All right. Preaching. Teach the young fella. Teach him a little something. All right. Get him out of his Madden where everybody stays freaking healthy and get injuries off. All right. Get him out of there. Get him out. All right. So here we have. Here we have 2020, correct?
This is last year's roster at the start of the season. And this is this year's with even more depth.
Don, what y'all need an offensive line for when y'all have Jalen Hurts?
Yeah, just run around to everybody. We're Gooch. We're Gucci. Just run around the world. Run around to everybody. That's all. All right, so what position you guys want to start with here?
Left tackle.
Shut up.
No.
Or it's the entire offensive line.
Do it, Ralph.
Well played.
We'll never get to this. All right, so now you're looking at 2019.
Yes.
So, obviously, Mr. Alshon, Arcega-Whiteside, both obviously on the roster. So we're not even going to look at them guys. We're going to look at the guys who aren't. Nelson Aguilar, Matt Collins. Okay, they're showing obviously on this roster. So last year they kept 5, right, and then they had to bring guys in later on. Yeah. So looking at last year coming into the season, that's what you have at the wide receiver position. All right, and I think coming in, and if you sit here and you lie to me, I'm gonna go back and hunt for it. Everybody on this damn panel and everybody out there thought this offense was going to be electric. I mean, we were doing the electric slide like it was late 90s.
Right? And there was one guy who thought J.J. Arcega-Whiteside was going to have 10 touchdowns.
Yeah, there was people out there like that, Frank.
Hey,
right?
Where is Bill anyways? I haven't seen him in the chat.
I don't know. Probably making millions.
He probably threw a TV again.
He's probably looking for a new TV.
Yeah. So you look at Nelson, you look at Mac, all right, and that's it. So you look at them two, the other guys are already on. Now, last year they kept 5, but we thought this offense was going to be explosive. Week 1, it showed up to be explosive, and then the injuries came on. They're showing an outshine and changed the whole thing. So then you were relying on the likes of Nelson Aguilar and Matt Collins. We've seen how that worked, and then it got worse from there. Mm-hmm. So now you fast forward, if you can take us to 2020.
Take us to 2020.
That's our 2019. So now we're here to 2020. So not looking at the guys we already still have, right? So we got to compare, what we compare here is.
There we go.
Deontay Burnett, baby.
No.
What we compare is Jalen Reagor, maybe Hightower,
Shelton
Goodwin,
Gibson.
Goodwin.
Ward, and Watkins.
Yeah, I mean, I always count Ward last year.
Okay, we can put
So
him
it's really just comparing the 2 versus 2. So we're really just going to compare Jalen Reagor, John Hightower, Nelson Aguilar, and Matt Collins. That's the difference right there. So when we dissect it, that's the difference maker because everybody else looks to be back, right? We can add Marquise Goodwin in there too.
Mhm.
So we can add him into them 3, all right, and go from there. If you want to add, I mean, there's no point
What
to
about Manasa Bailey? Are we adding him?
I don't think we need to go to Quez Watkins, ladies and gentlemen. I think we can.
Not yet for Quez. I think Quez is going to be on the practice squad come week 1.
I agree, Frank. So Hightower, Reagor, Goodwin, essentially better than. Are you taking that over Nelson Aguilar and Matt Collins?
Oh, absolutely.
100%.
Yeah, give a point to 2020.
Yeah.
Give a point to 2020.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, 2020 is going to be on paper. They have more talent because obviously a lot of these kids are rookies, so you have to see how they transition. But yeah, I mean, hopefully JJ takes that step, and then you hope you got your guy at number 21 that was supposed to be, that was your guy. So yeah, I'm gonna bank on 2020.
And absolutely, and don't forget about Matt Collins last year with his comments saying, I'd rather be on special teams than play wide receiver.
Yeah.
So,
Ralphie, what do we know the second he said that? Stink.
Yeah, he stinks.
I would have told you that. Look where he went to college.
Yeah.
It's funny.
And who was throwing the football? Mitchie Poo.
You know what makes it better? It's one guy. You know what I mean? Like, you don't even got to go Hightower and Goodwin. You just have to say Reagor. Reagor would be better than Nelson. You would assume so, right? You would really hope, right? So I can't. You know what I mean? We can't. So you hope you would assume he is, right?
Well, absolutely. Once Reagor was drafted, he's already better than Matt Collins, and it's only one guy. You know what I mean?
Hightower is going to give you more, or Goldman will give you more production than Matt Collins. So that's a win. So it then becomes it's Jalen Reagor better than Nelson Aguilar, boys.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's a point. So that's a landslide.
I hope so.
In terms of wide receiver, everybody gives out a 1-0. Now we are all officially 1-0 2020 roster. So now we're going to go away from wide receiver and let's move. We'll go down the list.
All right.
We'll stay right
just go with the O-line.
We'll stay right with the offensive line.
All right.
And it's real easy because you really have 2 differences that aren't on this roster essentially that played, and that's Peters and Vitae. Okay.
Yeah.
And now take me to 2020. Where now you don't have Jason Peters,
right.
Okay, but you did have Andre Dillard, so we'll go out Dillard Peters because you have to compare that, and then
it's basically Vitae against Prince Winogo.
Yeah,
right.
And honestly, right now the offensive line I got to give it to 2019.
I gave mine to 2019 as well. Yes, we did have some great depth last year, especially when you look at the guys that stepped up when some of our guys went down. Dillard, he had some flashes in the pan. He had some great games.
Yes, he did, Frank.
I mean, Big V, when Lane Johnson was out for a good chunk of, let's say, a couple seasons ago, Vitae stepped in and was serviceable. Losing those guys, it is going to hurt. But when you look at this,
better than Dillard.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, because you look at it, they're definitely worse right now. I'm not saying by a great margin, but, we won a Super Bowl with Vitae, and Jason Peters is a Hall of Famer. When you remove those two and you have Dillard, who, again, doesn't seem like anybody's confident in him right now, and he really doesn't have a ton of experience. And when he's played okay. Obviously, I'm not going to take away the Bears game
very good.
And the Bills game. And then on top of that, you substitute Prince Winogo, who hasn't stepped foot in the league yet, for a guy who was a left tackle when we won the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Listen, it's 1-1 because, listen, this is what I got to stop you with right here, Ralphie. Nobody thinks Dillard can't play. We hope he can.
Oh, no, it sounds like a lot of people think that.
It's an unknown.
And it's disrespectful. Very disrespectful.
Yeah, disrespect to the Hall of Famers, cute, too. That's hot in the street.
Do you have stock in Andre Dillard's, jerseys or something? I love Dillard. I'll go to bat for Dillard all the time, but like I said, the only issue that I perceive with Peters is will he accept the potential, backup role? But at this point in the offseason, he's not getting a starting job anywhere, so why wouldn't he come back?
Well, Dillard should be your starting left tackle no matter what. This is his year.
Doesn't mean he won't be.
So Jason Peters is going to take a backup role.
Yeah, it's money.
Oh,
bro.
my God. No
You're not taking the
way.
backup role at $8 million.
No way.
You're not taking
That's starter money, though, dude.
because you have to give it to a left tackle, Ralph.
That's starter money, Tommy.
You have it this year. It's a 1-year deal. You have nothing back on either side. One of them two go down, we're in trouble. You want Jason Peters on this roster. How much more can I stress it to the people out there? Because you let Vitae go, which is fine. You didn't want to pay the money there. So now
if you wanted Jason Peters on the team, then why is he not signed yet? If they want him so badly, why hasn't he been signing the contract yet?
Because it's not a rush. He's good. Because at this point, he's going
We're all at
to
home.
Because he's 38 years old.
He can't sign in Philadelphia right now.
By the way, I'm going to go with 2020 just because Jason Peters is not on the roster anymore.
Keep track of yours. Okay, Frank, bring us up.
All right. I am back on 2019, and we are going to look at the tight ends.
Hold on.
Can we just skip that? It's a wash, right?
It's a push. It's a push.
Yeah.
Real quick. Can't have a question mark at left tackle after you paid Wentz, Ralph. Would you drive a 2020 Mercedes without insurance?
Yes, because the insurance is costly in New Jersey.
Shut up. Greg. It's not the point.
Quiet, Greg.
Oh, I love it.
Yes, no. He's a big Michigan State fan, brother. Huge
Yes, sir.
Michigan State fan guy.
Go green, baby. Go
Okay,
green.
so we're going to go then to the quarterback room.
This will be interesting.
Now this becomes interesting because you know, you're obviously your one's back, so now it becomes McCown, Jalen Hurts. Okay, and there's a couple ways to look at this, and I'm going to do it in a positive fashion. Josh McCown, we know what he brought to the table in terms of leadership and what he did for Carson. Well, that sticks now for Carson, right? That kind of stuff sticks with a guy as he grows now, right? You would hope that Carson's smart enough and the leadership and some of the, I would say, check down-ish stuff he started doing later on and just trusting your offense, that's going to stick with you, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay?
You're right. You used it perfectly. You would hope, right? That's what you would hope, right? Yep.
That was the lesson Josh McCown came in here and instilled in a way, right? So you would think that would stick. But come on. I like Josh McCown. He played in the league for a long time. No disrespect to him at all. But I'm going to take Jalen Hurts right now over Josh McCown, over a 40-year-old Josh McCown. I mean, I don't think that's fair. Now, you know, if we're not taking the 53rd pick in the goddamn draft over Josh McCown at 40 years old, then we have a bigger issue, okay? I'm going to put a little hope that room's better talent-wise right now. Not saying leadership, any of that. It's going to come close to it, though, because I'm telling you right now, the only good thing about this kid, the only reason I'm not yelling and screaming every day about it is because he is a leader. So both your quarterbacks are still leaders, just like McCown was. Jalen Hurts comes in here with a kid who did it the right way and can lead a football team even as your other guy. Okay? He's proven at a high level of college. So I'm going to put a little respect, not on the quarterback. I'll put respect on his athletic ability because it's there. All right? And I'll put respect on that. He's a great kid, and he comes on this football team, and our QB room is better because the talent's better. And it's not a shot Josh McCown. He's 40 years old. Come on. We're going to say Josh McCown's better than Jalen Hurts. We better hope not at 40. We better hope the hell not.
Yeah.
If something happened.
He did almost have to play wide receiver last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's absolutely
the one we drafted to do it.
It's absolutely 2020, just because you look at, Josh McCown, other than, for a couple minutes in the Falcons game and obviously, in that Seahawks game.
We love Josh, by the way.
Yeah, I love Josh.
To the family out there, I love Josh McCown. Love what he did for 11.
He's a guy who had little to no effect on this offense. We already know day one, 5 minutes after, Jalen Hurts was drafted, that he's going to have some impact on this offense, whether it's gimmicky, whether there's set plays for him. He's going to have some impact on this offense this season. So just by that, completely negating the fact that, Jalen Hurts is probably going to be a better player today than Josh McCown's going to be today, or maybe ever, because Josh McCown's a journeyman. He's been on 100 different teams. And again, we love him. That's no disrespect. But at the end of the day, it's absolutely 2020.
And I'm going to go 2020 as well. Especially, I know when Teron Davenport was on the Sports Hounds, he said that Hurts is going to add a little bit extra more to that playbook. You know what? I can't wait to see a Carson Wentz, Jalen Hurts package, or just a Jalen Hurts package. So I got to go with 2020 on this one.
Yeah, Anthony Adis, real quick. Let's go back to that one. No, not the Greg Ward.
Oh, I got you. That one.
Yes, absolutely. Would take Josh McCown as my third over Sudfeld. No question about it. It's not even.
Yeah, and if you didn't, and I also agree, 2020 better just from a pure talent standpoint, right?
Yep.
But I would also agree that if you didn't waste 53 on Hurts, I'd rather have Josh McCown as your number 2 again, and I'd be perfectly okay with that.
Yep.
But when you waste 53 on Hurts, you bring him in. Yes, more talent, more athleticism, brings a different dynamic.
Listen,
none of that is in question.
It's an insurance policy. I don't like the pick at the spot, but I'm just going to keep riding the insurance policy side of it. You know what I mean? And at
the end of his rookie year, I still think the result would have been the same against Seattle. You know what I mean? I don't think Jalen Hurts always. You know what I mean? I don't think that saves the day against Seattle.
Yeah, I don't.
With what we had against Seattle, I don't see it happening.
That's it. Yeah, it's exactly it, right? It wasn't. We didn't lose just because Josh McCown couldn't get it done. We lost because
McCown was hurt too.
That happened too. Yeah.
I'll say Jalen would have won that game because McCown was hurt. If McCown was healthy, I think we win.
Didn't we lose Brandon Brooks in that game too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Brandon Graham for a large portion too.
And I don't think this rumor is true at all, Jason.
No, that's fake news.
Okay, so I'll just tell you, I'm not taking a shot. I've read it. I don't believe it.
No.
Now, talk to me again if it happens again, and then the time after, maybe you have the conversation if it's to the head. We're talking about the head, right? I'm not talking about other injuries guys don't give a rat's ass about. Okay, like different things broken and stuff like that. They don't care. All right, it's about the head now. That's the main thing. So the more headshots, that's when it becomes a concern. So right now, no, I'm fully confident in 11, and I'm confident in the QB room behind them.
Mm-hmm.
I truly am. For one of the first times, and I'm not a big Jalen Hurts QB guy, but I think behind 11, he can learn some things too.
Yep.
They can be good for each other. Listen, it's not a relationship. You guys are going to hate each other. I'm going to tell you that right now. There's going to be no friction between them. You ever hear creative friction? This is what this is. All right? Creative friction. And then it just makes guys even work harder, in my opinion. So I know I'm 2-1 in terms of 2020. Guys, give your updates on where you stand.
2-1, 2020.
I am 2-1, 2020.
Yeah, 2. Same thing. 2.
All right, so let's move on now. Now we're going to I believe we moved to the running back position.
The running backs, yes.
This will get fun.
So last year's.
Last year's room. So the only really difference is, Sproles was hurt so much. It's already. I can't even put him in.
And then you add Boston Scott in there.
So you can almost put Boston Scott in Sproles' role.
And the Jay Ajayi for like 1 minute.
Really, Jordan Howard.
Yeah.
So go to 2020.
2020, we got all of this.
Yeah, I'm gonna make my pick easy. It's 2019.
Yeah,
easily.
This is
very easy.
Yep.
2019.
Easy for me, 19 as well.
You know what?
Easy. No, don't.
I know what he's going to do. I know exactly where you're going.
I know what he's going to do.
I'm going to take a play off Vaughn. What Vaughn said.
All right.
The important. How much the game's going to slow down for Miles in year 2.
Yep.
Now I think he takes another step. Now I don't love the room behind him. I actually don't like it at all.
That's my issue. Yes,
I like Boston Scott. Not as my second. I love Adrian Killens, but the fact of the matter is not as like a 2 either. I like him as like a once in a while explosive guy.
Anthony, the guys that we have on the roster now at the running back position are not even 2s or 3s. They're more 3s than they are 2s.
They're more 3s and 4s. Like Corey Clement. Good dude.
And that's why I gave the upper hand to 2019 because you had a guy in Jordan Howard who was a lead back in Chicago, came here, was somewhat of a lead back here until Miles started going off towards the end of the season. And then I just think the running back room last year is a lot better than it is right now.
No, it is. But Jordan Howard was hurt a lot last year too, so I'll factor that in.
But when he was healthy, he was carrying 7 guys on his back for first downs.
No question. But when we went on,
he was a beast when he was healthy.
I love Jordan.
He couldn't stay healthy during the season.
I love Jordan Howard, but when we went on a run, he wasn't here. So I can say that I think Miles is going to get better. I like Boston. If Corey could stay healthy, I mean, I like him as like a change of pace guy a little bit, but I really need somebody else in this room. But I'll still give it to 2020 because I think that Miles Sanders will get better. But I agree. I think we're going to miss Howard. I love Jordan Howard, but I'm gonna give it to Miles because of his development. I think he gets a little better, so that room gets a little better.
Frank, what do you have?
I gave it to 2019.
Okay. Ralphie?
2019.
Greg?
Yeah, 2019. I have no issues with Sanders. I do think he takes a jump as well. It's just exactly what do we have left in that room? I'm going to go ahead and give it to 2019.
Yeah, I think I'm going 2019. I think it's just really top heavy. And again, Miles was banged up a lot last season. If they signed even a friggin' Shady McCoy, Carlos Hyde, and obviously Devontae Freeman, I think it bumps it, tremendously because it's just somebody
Absolutely.
that actually has experience in this league. And like I said, nobody's a fan of Carlos Hyde here. But at least he would fit and he would be kind of a complement to what we're trying to do, more of a power back. But I like Miles, but one guy can't do it all.
Maybe they just don't want to go, maybe they don't want to go that like power back. I don't think one guy's going to do it all anyway because I think Scott's going to get touches. So I still don't think it's a one-back committee by any stretch. I think they're going to roll the three out. Corey Clement shouldn't catch the ball in this league when he's healthy. So I think they're going to put some stock in a third guy. Can he stay healthy? He knows the offense. He's not a pimp or anything, but we won a Super Bowl with him as our third back.
Do you think he makes the team because of that, Tommy? Because he knows their playbook and he knows the schemes better than the other guys do?
That's the fastest way.
At the end of the week, you got to it's almost a damn if you do, damn if you don't situation with Corey, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I think they go that route as well. I think they keep the guys, or they bring in some guys that already know the playbook and schemes rather than sign guys from the outside that have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, they're going to try to keep Killins and Warren on like practice squad if they can. But that's the thing, Rafi. I just think that they believe if he's healthy, he can contribute. And I think we all believe as a third running back because he's shown it that he can. Nobody's crowning the guy, but as a third running back, we want a Super Bowl with the guy. So he can play a little bit. I think we get a little disrespectful because people think he's a one when he's not. And then people don't like him because of what other people think.
Yeah.
In his role as a third running back, I'm completely fine there. Then the question becomes Carlos Hyde or Boston Scott. Honestly, guys, Carlos Hyde stinks. Boston Scott can take a ball to the freaking house. Boston Scott can have an explosive play. Carlos Hyde gets moved around too much for my liking.
Yeah.
I know like we don't do. I mean, it's not a change of pace because Miles isn't a power guy, but it doesn't really matter though because he's still smaller and faster in a way and quicker. So it's still a change of pace in a way. So to me, you can win with that running back room. What I like of Devontae Freeman, that's the only name that would make me change up, like Hyde, McCoy. Like I'd rather just go with them three then.
So if Freeman is signed, right, where is he on your depth chart? Is he 1 or is he 2?
2.
Oh, he's 2. He's doing it.
Yeah.
Scott goes to 3, and then Corey don't
Scott goes to his natural position at the 3 spot, right? That's where he should be. And that's and to your point, Tommy, like, I mean, I think the way this offseason worked out and the lack of, OTAs and camps, it's like, hey, we got Corey Clement. He seems to be healthy right now. Let's sign him since we're not going to be able to give Killings and Warren probably the looks that they deserve because we don't have rookie camp, right? We don't have the early OTAs that the rookies get the advantage of to learn. Not necessarily to break out, but to learn so that when they get to actual camp, they can actually just start playing. Like Vaughn said, and even Vince said, Papali, when he's like, I started playing better when I didn't have to think, I just reacted.
Yeah.
Right. And those young kids are going to miss that camp to where they can help some of that learning curve.
It's so important to do. I mean, looking at the playbook is one thing, going out and executing and trying to do it's another thing. So to me, Corey Clement showed he as a third back in this league that you can win with him. Boston Scott showed me enough last year to say I'll take him over Carlos Hyde. So, we're going to run with it. But
I don't disagree with the Scott over Hyde. I just think they're two different backs to where I think you could do both. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But then Corey goes out of the picture. And honestly, a healthy Corey Clement as a third back, I would rather go with this rotation in terms of Carlos Hyde. Now, you bring Devontae Freeman up, everything changes. Carlos Hyde, he moves around too much for me. That becomes an issue. That becomes a concern to me. Why are you in a different place every year if you're so talented? And the running back position usually is easier to pick up. That's why rookies can come in and be successful day one, right? So why are you moved all around?
And I'm not a Deuce guy, but Deuce for the last few years has done a masterful job of always having those running backs, whoever they are, ready to go.
What do you mean you're not a Deuce guy?
Like I think Deuce is perfectly stated for where he is, right? I'm not a Deuce guy and saying, hey, let's give him the offense as an offensive coordinator.
No.
Like let's Deuce and what he does as the running backs guy and the run game coordinator, whatever he is, I think it is perfectly set, because the one thing we noticed last year and every year with Deuce, those running backs are ready to go. We couldn't say that last year with the wide receivers, because just look at J-Jaw. Right, the fact that J-Jaw couldn't get on the field, if he was a running back, he would have been a lot more effective because of what Deuce does with those guys.
He's a great running back coach. He gets guys ready to go. Let me tell you something right now.
Yep.
They want explosiveness. So, at the end of the day, we can look at Carson. Okay, we want Scott. Whatever. They want explosiveness on this football team, right? They want guys that make big plays. And what Boston Scott showed you is he can make a big play. Miles Sanders make a big play. Corey Clement, when he's healthy, can make a big play out of the backfield, catching the football. They want that. So that's what they're looking for. To me, they're pretty set here, unless they, maybe they're looking at Devontae Freeman. But to me, I think they're pretty set with what they got, because they know they got their one for sure. They've seen their two can do a little bit of both. Can catch the ball out of the backfield, which they want out of their backs, right? And can run it enough. Like, he's not going to get 10 carries a game, but 5 touches out of the backfield, that limits Miles. And then Corey will have his packages. So at the end of the day, you're still taking care of your number one back and not overwhelming them. Make sense? Any way you do it, you're not going to overwhelm them. But it just says that they believe in these guys a little bit more. That's all. Because they know what's going on here already. That's a big factor, X factor this offseason.
I just think you look at this current room, and there's a whole lot of what ifs with this group, right? There's not a lot of, outside of Miles, there's not a lot of what do we know we have, right? You're right. Boston can do a little bit of this and that. Corey, if he stays healthy, can do a lot of this and that. But it's like, hey, Boston's only in his second year. Does he make that jump as a lot of second-year running backs don't, right?
Well, I think a big concern for me, too, is that, again, to your point, Greg, we're putting a lot of stock. And I understand, you can only put so much stock into a second, third, even fourth running back. So I'm not saying you're
stock in, though.
Say that again?
You guys are gonna circle the wagons outside Devontae Freeman on a bunch of throw-around guys. A bunch of travelers. So I don't, if we're talking about somebody who's better, that's fine. But all the other names outside Devontae Freeman are just fucking.
No, I'm talking.
No, I don't disagree with that.
No, I'm just saying, all of us in general, just a conversation. We always, we get caught up in these in certain names because we're not fully confident in the position, and we get caught up in these names that aren't necessarily better. That's all my point is. If we're talking about Freeman, then we have a major conversation at hand. Mm-hmm. Anybody else, it's just throwing shit at the wall.
I'm just concerned kind of staying still at the running back position and just saying, okay, we're going to run with Scott and Corey to, run behind obviously Miles, where Corey, even in his second year, and I'm not even talking about when people were trying to say he was a 1 because that was outlandish, but he didn't improve at all. If anything, he regressed, and he doubled his injuries, and they tried to put him on special teams, and he wasn't able to adjust. He was actually a liability on special teams. And then when he drops off, and again, it's all based off of.
Reese talked about that and talking to him about that and what year 2 was for him, being a local guy, winning a Super Bowl year 1, and thinking that you didn't have to put as much work in. So that conversation was known and had in a way. If that makes sense, if that's fair, I'm not making an excuse for it. You know what I mean? And then obviously 2019 he gets hurt. Mm-hmm. So you're right. Is it unknown? Any third back, right, is going to be an unknown most likely. Yeah. It's going to be a hope and pray, right? What can we get out of him? Hope and pray. Your second one, that's the interesting one, right? That's the conversational one. That's why I keep saying outside Devontae Freeman. Carlos Hyde doesn't do it for me. Doesn't catch the ball out of the backfield well enough for me. All right? He's okay. But I think Boston Scott in this offense is probably a better fit on what we're trying to do, though. That's my only argument. LaShawn, we know LaShawn, right? But at this point in LaShawn's career, I don't know if I'm taking him over Scott right now. All I'm saying is I might play a little roulette right now and take a chance.
I'll give you this idea then. All right. And somebody actually brought up his name, not in this fashion, but I just thought of this too. What if not only, let's say, take before the season out of this, by the deadline, would you be interested in possibly trading for a guy like Marlon Mack, who's going to be he's on the final year of his deal. They just drafted a running back, and he's going to be committed. You don't want Marlon Mack to go along with Miles Sanders?
Stop it when you're going to bring up names that are better, of course.
Okay. Well,
we're talking about Carlos Hyde. Stinks. Not that you to the public. Yeah. I put out posts and people blow Carlos Hyde. I can't take it anymore. What has Carlos Hyde done? So much potential. Anthony said, what potential? Then why has nobody kept him? Nobody's kept him. So to me, I'll take a guy who knows the offense, who showed he can be productive in this offense over a short period of time, granted, and I'll take a chance. That's all. Now, Marlon Mack, Devontae Freeman, I'm in.
I don't know what that says.
Ralph is continuously yawning.
Oh no, I'm chill.
You were yawning like 20 seconds ago.
You have something to say, Blanket? Something to say?
But that's what I'm saying to you, right? That's all. Not
I got you.
But in general, I'll take freaking Marlon Mack. I'll take Devontae Freeman, and then LaShawn's I don't know. But then that's it. If there's better guys, I'll take them. But I just don't see it happening now.
Yeah, the only reason why I asked that is just because maybe that's their mindset to where, okay, because it's kind of it's a crazy offseason, it's short, there's a lot of unknowns, maybe kind of like I don't want to make this comparison, but I always go back to it because it ended up screwing this team, but kind of how the Phillies did a couple years ago where they were saying, oh, we're going to go into the season with these pitchers to just get us to the deadline, and then we're going to make a move at the deadline. Something similar here to where, okay, we have guys that are familiar with the offense. And then if we're in the position where maybe we need an additional guy to go along with Miles Sanders, maybe we look at a Leonard Fournette or even a Marlon Mack because of how it fits and to go right into, obviously, a perfect complement with a guy like Miles Sanders.
I was wondering where the even name Marlon Mack came from, because I'm like, why would the Colts do that? And then I remembered, and they just looked it up. They just drafted Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah,
so
and Marlon Mack's at the end of his
successor.
And Marlon Mack is at the end of his deal.
Yeah, I mean, except for the fact that he's a little, he's a little on the tad of the injury-prone stuff, but I'm in.
He'll fit in perfect. He'll fit in perfect, though, Greg. Injury-prone is perfect.
You're right. Our perfect type of running back.
Come on, now.
Tyrus, what am I talking about? Tyrus, he ran for 1,100 yards. There's 16 games. 1,100 yards is 1,100. Okay, congratulations. But why is he then moved again? Why is he a free agent again? I mean, ask yourself that question. That's my concern with Carlos Hyde. Why has he been everywhere then? Why can't he stick anywhere? If he's so good and so talented, why can't he stick? So I don't think he comes here. That's my point. So what am I talking about? What I'm talking about is I don't think he's as good as you guys want to make him out to be. I mean, the Carlos Hyde love is amazing to me. Amazing. If he stayed one place and rushed for 1,100 yards year in, year out, okay, great. Okay, behind a terrible offensive line and a great running quarterback. Helps with 1,100, doesn't it? Where was he? With Houston last year again?
Yeah,
I don't even know where he was because he's all over the place. He was at Houston, right? Yeah. So he's with Deshaun Watson. So now we're gonna crown 1,100 yards with a guy with read options and different things like that. Come on, man. Come on. Now we're looking at stats and not looking like, why the hell has he been everywhere in the country then? The guy's traveled everywhere. Everywhere. That guy's not international. His passport will be filled because he'd be all over the world. All over the freaking world. Guy's been. But Carlos Hyde's the answer. The frick out of here, man. 1,100 yards. Cool story. Can he catch a ball in the backfield? How many catches did Carlos Hyde have to fit the West Coast offense?
That was actually, if we're talking stats, that was the first time in his career he had more than 1,000 yards.
And why is that, Ralph? Because what happens? What's the benefit of having a quarterback like that? Mark Ingram looked like he's running a 4.2 last year. All right? So people understand the difference. When you have a quarterback that can run, it helps your running game big time.
10 catches.
10 catches. 10 catches. 10 catches.
He did have 59, though, in 2017 in San Fran.
Cool story.
I'm just
no, I'm just saying cool story. He had 10 catches last year. 10 catches. 10 catches. Ball's got 10 catches in 2 games. When he come with the miles, why is he got to be Carlos Hyde? We fall in love with names that are out there hanging. It's like the the half off aisle, right? It's like the half off aisle. We fall in love with it. Oh, you know, it's expired, but I'll take a shot. 980? 980? 980. Who said we need 90 catches from? I'm telling you what fits the West Coast offense and what doesn't. Why is Carlos Hyde just guaranteed to be better than Boston Scott in a row? Why is he guaranteed to be? I'm not trying to crown Boston Scott, but why is he guaranteed to be? The kid showed he can play in this league too. So why don't we give him a run? Prism, I would love Melvin Gordon, but I'm comparing him. I'm comparing
Melvin Gordon on a different team now.
Yeah, he's the Broncos.
The Broncos.
I was pushing that Melvin Gordon train hard, man. I would love having Melvin Gordon midnight green.
First time in A2D history that 940 yards has been crowned on air. The first time in history of talking running backs, 980 has been crowned. Like it's freaking 1984. He can get short yards now. How many fumbles did Carlos Hyde have last year? Just asking for a friend.
4.
Well, that's a good question.
How many?
4.
Okay. How many year before?
3.
How many year before that?
8. No.
Oh, I was about to say.
Whoa.
2. Sorry, I was looking in the wrong spot. 2.
Year before?
2016, he had 5.
A little bit of issue holding on to the football.
And that's Ryan's boy, too, yo. That's crazy.
We're missing Carlos Hyde.
Whose boy?
That's your boy.
I haven't said a word. What are you talking about?
That's your boy.
That's why he's laying low on us, Ralphie.
Laying low.
Yeah, he
I'm
got
saying-
a poster up.
You told me to check your ears.
He doesn't know what to get the picture up.
You
What
haven't
team
woke,
picture middle so many.
you haven't woken up, and that friggin' beanie, first off, looks hideous. Second of all, it's hurting your hearing. Carlos Hyde.
Ryan was pushing the Carlos.
Please find me
trade.
that clip. Please find me that clip.
Oh, you've been
Yeah,
telling
Ralph,
Ralph for
find it.
weeks.
Tires.
For weeks.
I can't agree with you there. I can't agree with you there. Now we're taking Carlos Hyde over Devontae Freeman.
Sip the Sprite.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Listen, the proof's in the pudding. I didn't even know it's fumbles. That's too many. Probably another reason why he's moved around a little bit. Can't hold on to the damn football.
Yeah, I mean, he's been on some bad teams to where you would think if he had any type of talent, and I'm not saying he's not talented, but if he had any type of, longevity to him, he was with San Fran for 4 years. 2018, he's with Cleveland and Jacksonville, again, and then Houston. His last 3 teams are 3 teams that probably could use running backs still to this day.
Yep, and let him walk out the door.
And they all let him walk, or they traded him.
And now he's on the streets, and he's a free agent. So
I'll take Frank right now over Coleman too. Don't dare me. Shame he went to Buffalo. But we can't put something.
You're talking about Frank Gore. I thought you were talking about Frank Vespe. I'd take Frank Vespe over.
Either or. How many games did Freeman play last year, and how many games did Hyde play? So we're doing this. I mean, I don't know. I don't know off the top of my head. I mean, I'm going to tell you that over their career, it's probably around the same. I can't do the Carlos Hyde. I'm not arguing Carlos Hyde.
Hyde played all 16 last year.
Who did?
Obviously, we know Devontae Freeman. Hyde played all 16 last year, so we obviously know Devontae Freeman.
Congratulations to him. Are you looking at Freeman now?
Yeah.
We talking about defensive schemes.
Yes.
I agree, Don. Matt says, well, of course you do, man. I think so. Have a down year.
He played 14 last year.
Who, Devontae?
Freeman, yeah.
Yeah, cool story.
It was 2018 where he got hurt early and only played 2 games.
Okay.
But he's been 16, 15, 16, 14, 2, 14.
Yeah, big injury concern there, guys.
Especially as a number 2.
Yeah, stay hot. Stay hot. I'll be here with not even looking it up on my own and probably beating you in the argument.
Dean, the problem with Shady is that he's literally an older, slower version of Miles. I don't need it. I'll take it. Again, I'll take it, but it doesn't do anything for me.
Let's get to the next position, boys.
All right, let's go to the D-line. All right, this is last year's D-line.
All right, so when you look at it, the starters are all there. All right, in terms of that. So you're going to look at Vinny's not here as of right now, and Jernigan's not here. Okay, so now fast forward to 2020.
And realistically, you really can't count Jackson because he played 3 snaps.
No, but I'm just keeping him on both teams. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
I do think it's better. So now you look at it, and you had Hargrave. Okay, so you're really comparing Hargrave to Jernigan. Okay, and then
Malik kind of slides to a backup role.
Yeah, Malik sort of gives you that depth there too.
Yeah.
And then I guess is Avery better? Is Avery going to give you? Can Avery or Sweat give you more production? I guess than Vinny Curry.
I would imagine. I mean, Vinny Curry he didn't really do much last year.
Yeah, and we'll take Hargrave over Jernigan right now, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, with the injuries and all that. I mean, we're all
Consistency too. Consistency.
Yeah.
We think that's enough.
I mean, it sucks. Yeah. It sucks because I love some Timmy Jernigan.
Me too.
But you're right. The injury concern and his back and stuff like that. What is he really going to be? And Hargrave is what he is. The only potential mix up with Hargrave is he's going from a 3-4 to a 4-3. But he does have Cox next to him, so that should help level it out, right?
Well, we're going to get there. I think we could use Everson Griffin. I think that'd be a great fit for.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead, Ralph. Sorry.
I'm gonna go 2020 on my pick.
2020, Frank.
Yeah.
I'll take 2020 as well.
Rye.
2020.
Yeah.
2020.
Clean sweep, boys. There.
Yeah.
I mean, because Hargrave does so much to you, and then you factor in you really, like Greg said, you get Malik back, so you could add it in. We really didn't, and we think it's better. So we didn't even add having Malik Jackson to it. We count them as both years, even though we shouldn't have, right? And we already think 2020 is better. So now if you add Malik as a free agent, essentially too, this all season you get Hargrave and Malik Jackson, we'd be running down Broad.
And I'll just throw this in here too, because Lane, he did this last season, and he doesn't do this often. So where he was interviewed sometime last week, or no, it was over the weekend, and he was asked about who's really been impressing, who looks ready to go. And he was asked the same question this time last year. And he said, Miles Sanders. We see what that turned out to be. He said he was asked, give me your one guy who's going to be new, who people should be excited to see. You know who he said this year? Jannard Avery.
Yep.
So if an offensive lineman's saying that about a defensive lineman.
You got speed.
Yep.
I hope he pans out because it didn't cost us anything to get him. When we did, I'm going to believe in a little bit of the pedigree for Josh Sweat being a D end at Florida State. Hopefully, he's over the ACL and the knee injuries.
Great tape
to put something on. But I completely agree. We need another D end. You can never have enough D ends. I would love Everson Griffin. That's where, again, when you take 53, we go back to the running back decision, right? If you didn't take a J.K. Dobbins, we're not talking that long on running backs.
Yeah, but
at 53, you could have taken a Spenza, and we're not really talking about D ends much outside of what our starters are, right? You know what I mean?
If Avery and Sweat can play, then you're okay.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed, but again, we're always looking at that right?
Yeah, I mean, I think Avery has the better chance of playing. You know what I mean?
Browns fans were pissed when they got rid of him.
And being impactful. You know what I mean, Greg?
No, absolutely. I think the Browns. I think they were running a 3-4 again as well, and he was a stand-up guy.
Yeah, they brought in the wrong guy because he was a part of the system when they switched.
Yeah,
and he just got stuck. He never got a chance.
It was like early Brandon Grant.
Yep.
And they had a good D line there too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's fast forward. We're all asleep there. So
are we all at 3-2, 2020, or
no, I am 4-1.
Oh, 4-1.
No,
okay.
I'm at 3-2, 2020.
I'm at 3-2, 2020 as well.
I'm leading the pack here with a 4-1, 2020.
Greg?
2019. So now we're going to fast forward, and we went from our D line, and we're going to go to a fun position. That is going to be
the great and coveted linebackers.
So we're going to look at Nigel Bradham, Ruger Hill, and Zach Brown, all not on this football team.
Yep.
LJ Ford as well.
Well, it doesn't even count. He didn't even play here. I mean, so I'm not even counting it. So there are the three. So now we go to 2020.
Baltimore.
Now we go to 2020 and compare.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So
The anticipation.
there's your linebacking core. Now, why I say this to start it off, outside of my love for Nigel, I believe this depth is better than last year's. Now,
I agree with the depth, but
not saying a lot. It's not
it's
saying
not saying much.
It's first off, Jatavius Brown is better than Grugier Hill, in my opinion. Okay, I mean Grugier Hill's never had 90 tackles in a season, so
he's a better kicker than he is a linebacker.
Yeah, so we'll say that, right? It's not saying much. I'm not crowning this linebacker because we need another linebacker. Davion Taylor, you hope, is better than Brown, right? You know, and then you're really hoping on like T.J. Edwards and the Greg's boy to be able to play middle linebacker for this football team enough. So, you know, to me, it's a little better, but what's that saying? You know what I mean? It's not saying anything.
Yeah, I mean, there's two ways I think about this. It's either, okay, you know, you can look at it on, okay, we lost a guy like Bradham and Grugier Hill, who was on the roster and played during the Super Bowl years, and we lost both of them. Or, and I'm leaning towards this, we got better because at least now we don't know if these guys suck yet. We know last year sucked.
Because we hope Davion Taylor can play.
Yeah.
And we're working on trying to get Davion on here. But, you know, we hope Davion Taylor can play. You know, we hope TJ Edwards, like some Pro Football Focus or whatever out there on him, like trying to make it out the league.
That's my guy.
So, and Jatavis, I like. Where's he at? Bring him back up.
Marquez?
Where's Mr. Motley at? Jatavius is sneaky. I'm telling you, he is. You know, he's got banged up, and then the contract runs out, and they didn't bring him back. So it just happened to get banged up at the wrong time. But I think he can play in this league a little bit. You know, still needed a linebacker, man. We're still going to be haunted by Patrick Queen. But as bad as this is, I'm going with the 2020 because, like Rye said, which is the hope of maybe somebody's got to play. So it's not by a landslide. It doesn't say shit about the lack of additions outside of Taylor. Taylor and Brown were good additions. I'll give them that. You know, but you needed a little more. You needed more of a, like, you know what I'm saying? More of like a Patrick Queen to throw in the middle of them two, and then you're like, oh, Taylor, Queen, and Jatavius. All right, we'll run.
Or at least another guy that's played in this league before. No offense, Greg, TJ Edwards. You know what I mean?
No offense taken.
Well,
I just bag off TJ because he's all we got to bank on.
He's the only guy who survived from last year. He's the only guy still on the roster.
And he just came from, you know, a school, you know, that usually produces decent linebackers. You know what I mean? That's really what it is.
Yeah, like I said, you know, I'm not overly confident. I think Davion's going to end up being a good player. Sean Bradley can, if he get on the field, that's a job well done because it could be a lot better than any other linebackers that we had last year. To your point, Tom, Jatavius has proven that he can actually play in this league. But Jesus, like I said, my one hope is that, okay, we still have a few more months until we know for sure if these guys suck or not. That's my plus.
Yeah, I'll give it the 2020 just based off of hope and you know, projections. You know what I mean? Just because, hey, you're right. We drafted Taylor in the third. We hope he can play. We hope Brown comes back from injury and can play. We hope Gary takes that next step. And same thing with Edwards. So I'll go 2020 just, you know, from projection and hope.
Yes, Matt, the Cowboys. Go ahead, Frank, Ralph.
Frank.
I'm gonna go 2019. I'm going 2019.
Are you lashing out because of no Queen?
He's lashing. Frank, go ahead.
I really love that we have the depth in 2020. But a lot of these guys are young and haven't made their mark yet. I'm going to give it a 2019.
There you go, Frank.
See, we're starting to separate now.
There you go, Frank.
Leave the pack now.
I think this linebacker core is better. That's just me. I think it's better. It's upgraded.
I mean, the depth is better. but it's still a very young.
Half of the guys that we have on the roster now at the linebacker position haven't sniffed the NFL. Haven't even stepped foot on the NFL field yet.
Well, Brian has. Duke Riley has. So
I'm talking about the guys that we brought in.
Duke.
no, but they're guys we brought in.
Obviously.
Duke Riley? We brought Duke Riley in last year.
We did, yeah. Yeah, we did.
He played. He was late.
He was the Cyprian trade.
Barely even. Okay, well,
Yeah, but he was all special teams, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I'm talking about the guys that we had last year in the linebacker position, played in the NFL, sniffed the NFL, got the feel for the NFL. Half of the guys in the linebacker position that we have now haven't done that yet. So I can't give it to 2020.
Yeah, and that's why I'll give it to him, because I have to Ryan's point, we know those guys sucked last year. We don't know yet that these guys suck. So.
Ralphie, it's only two guys. It's only Davion and Sean Bradley.
Still,
I mean, if you want to consider Sean Bradley to step on an NFL field, because Temple did play at the Lynx, so.
Oh my God, Frank.
Yeah, and Ralph, actually no, because a vast majority of the linebacker corps was actually in the league last year. There's only you're comparing like 3 or 4 to 2.
I'm still going with 2019.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
All right, next position, boys.
I'll go. By the way, I'm going to go 2020 for the quarterbacks. I got to take a stack real quick.
What's everyone's score?
I am 5-1, 2020.
I'm 4-2.
I'm 4-2.
I'm 3-3.
Wow.
3-3.
Jesus.
All right, so now to the cornerback position, which changes a little bit. So if you in 2019, obviously we had Malcolm Jenkins. Our starting corners were Avonte Maddox and Ronald Darby. With the side of Jalen Mills. So we seen that, okay? And so we're really looking at Malcolm and we're looking at Darby, okay?
Yeah.
So we fast forward to 2020, and you tell me, is Darius Slay better than Ronald Darby? Yes.
Oh, Niles.
And what was the other name that I said? There was 2 of them. It was Malcolm. So now you ask the question, who would you rather have? Maybe the addition of Kayvon Wallace / moving Jalen Mills there. Would you take that over the aging Malcolm Jenkins at this point? Leadership wise, I know it's tough, but I'm gonna take this year's.
Well, we sat here for multiple times throughout the offseason saying we all know who the true leader is, the Philadelphia Eagles, and he wears 55.
Yeah,
Brandon Graham. BG.
2020 better, baby. I'm on fire.
Yeah, I'm going 2020.
My 2020 roster.
I'm going 2020.
Boys, my 2020 is running away with this at a 6-1 lead.
Ronald Darby is the same guy that made Devontae Parker look like Randy Moss and Jerry Rice combined. So don't forget that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Devontae Parker was catching everything over Ronald Darby, and then when that game happened, I was out on Ronald Darby after that game. I couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah,
I'll tell you this. Sidney Jones, don't forget Sidney Jones won us 2 games at the end of the year. Don't forget about that.
No, I am on him. I think he's got the other corner position.
He won us the Giants game. He won us the Giants game, and he won us the Cowboys game.
Listen, response, and BG loves him. BG loves him. One more thing that we forgot in all this addition. Roby Coleman.
Don't forget Nickel.
So Roby Coleman, huge addition, makes his football team way better. To me, it's a bigger addition than even Slay because how important the slot is. But still, we forgot about that one too. So if you match that up with losing like Malcolm and adding that to your secondary, his secondary is way better.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Guess what? Guess what? You don't have to put Jalen in the box like you would have had to with Malcolm this year. So Jalen can play center field now. Rodney can play center field now. You don't have to bring your safeties in the box anymore because you're thin down there. I think if the way that it is going right now, if everybody stays healthy, I think I'm gonna pray to God every single day that this defense can stay healthy. You're gonna walk into the link, and I say it every time. You better hope your offensive line is healthy that day once you play us. Because if not, it's gonna be a long day. It's gonna be a long day.
Oh, I don't want to. Sidney wins that job.
Oh yeah, I think Sidney gets the starting job. Absolutely. I think he's going to be a third guy.
Yeah, I don't want to disrespect Malcolm because I appreciate what he did. But with that being said, everyone and there nobody really in the comments, but people, ever since he left, oh my God, we're really going to be missing his impact on the field. It's going to be a big loss. I don't give a damn. Honestly,
production.
you look at what they did. It was the perfect complement when you talk about having McLeod, and then if you want to put Mills in there, and then having Kevon Wallace, who he doesn't need to do anything immediately. I'm not saying he needs to be a superstar year one, but he can eventually develop into that mold to take over for either McLeod or Jalen Mills because they're both on one-year deals. Will Park's just a guy, but he serves as, you got to ask yourself the question, is he better than Corey Graham or Sendejo? I certainly hope so because both those guys friggin' sucked. And then you look at the cornerbacks, for example, the position's instantly better when you swap out Ronald Darby for Darius Slay. Or it's instantly better when you swap out last season and you move in Nickel Roby Coleman. So you're looking at it and you could say, oh, well, Sidney Jones, there's a lot of, question marks. Okay, but at least there's question marks with your second cornerback as opposed to your first, to where you're going into the last handful of seasons in the past to where you had question marks all over the field in the secondary. Now you really only have one, and that question mark is a guy that, at the end of the day, he was a second-round pick. Some guys take longer. Yes, he does need to stay healthy, but I think given the room that he's in with a guy like Roby Coleman and obviously Slay, I think that he's going to be in a really good position to succeed. And if not, all right, then you have other guys available back there. And I'm
been a top 15 pick without the injury. So
true.
No, absolutely.
He was the best corner in the draft.
For the Achilles.
Listen, the thing you do, every time you go get a number one corner like this, you can roll coverage now.
What's up, TTP?
When you have a guy who can play on an island like Slay can, now you can roll coverage. So
Absolutely.
You can help out that second corner a lot more. I'm telling you, I agree with Eagles Island or whatever. Eagles has landed. Sorry.
I like Eagles on
an island, but Eagles Island works too. I agree. I think he's gonna have a good year this year. I think the addition of the veterans is gonna help his confidence too. TTP in the house. What's up, baby?
What's up, TTP?
Dak Breeder thinks I'm not doing all that with you guys arguing. I think about something. Where's Craig at? Going to the bathroom because I got to go. And this guy hasn't came back for the.
There he is.
There he is.
Hey.
But I think listen, Brandon Graham, we talked about a million times, is the hands down leader of this football team. Emotionally, everything. All right. And when he speaks about a kid like this, I buy in. A kid who's going through a lot of what Brandon Graham has in this city. Right. So Brandon can relate. Brandon's helped him. I'm going to trust Brandon Graham, and I'm going to trust the response because all you have in sports is that last play. And on his last plays, he responded from getting torched, all right? That looked like he couldn't play in this league, right? You know what that does mentally, right? You know how big them two plays can be for this kid mentally to get over a hump and say, I belong, I can play here? We talked about Vince. When do you feel like you belong? Well, it starts to slow down. You stop thinking. Mm-hmm. You just go play football, right? And what you saw at the end was, I'm done. I'm just going to go play. Make a couple big plays. Maybe it translates.
Yep.
I completely agree. And Marquez, that's spot on. He says the double move killed Mills and Darby. One thing I will say is Sidney doesn't, but he just doesn't turn around, and that's fixable. And now you can say that about everybody in the secondary. And I'm not trying to provide excuses for Sidney or anybody in the secondary because everyone's in that. If you're in the NFL, you should be able to do your job on your own. You shouldn't need to be babysat. But I think we can all agree that Corey Unlin, the secondary coach, who thank God for the Detroit Lions. Sorry, Don, but
thanks Detroit.
Thanks to Detroit for taking him and I think he's the new defensive coordinator. Don, I hate to say this to you, the guy absolutely sucks. He's awful. He's awful, awful, awful. Like, I honestly think, like, as much as we hated Mike Groh and all that, like, Corey Unlin was horrible. And correct me if I'm wrong, Frank, Corey Unlin was going all the way back to the Chip Kelly regime.
Yes,
right?
he was a Chip Kelly hire in everything. Working under Billy what was it? Billy Davis, I believe, was the
Billy Davis. And I don't disagree with anything you said, but maybe it was one of those things like who was our old Juan Castillo, right? Maybe he was just coaching the wrong group. Maybe he's better off as an overall guy, right? To where, coaching the DBs, he was terrible because none of our DBs could turn around and find the football ever.
And it was amazing because they would be on other teams, right?
Yeah.
And they had it. And then once they came here, they would never turn. It's like, guys, you did it. You did it at your other team.
Yeah.
It was was like they had it on the freaking wall in the secondary room that do not turn around for the ball.
Do not go for interceptions.
Yeah.
Interceptions mean nothing.
Sorry, Don. He says, "Man, don't tell me that. Come on. I'm sorry. I'm warning you now. I'm warning."
I tried to give him a little bit of a ray of hope.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Don. I'll ask you. Let me ask you guys this question. We put it out on our social media last week, and it got a lot of engagement. And we can go two ways with this. So I'll start with part one. Who is more needed? Who's more influential to have a big season this coming year? Is it Sidney Jones or is it J.J. Arcega-Whiteside? Who do the Eagles need more to really step up?
Sidney Jones. Sidney Jones. Just the way the wide receivers are in this team. I mean, I'm not leaning more towards on JJ because we have, the likes of Alshon and Deshaun, and then now obviously you added Jalen Reagor. My focus on and the spotlight is on is Sidney Jones. Can he be that third cornerback that you can rely on when the games get in the rocky time toward the end? So
and also, can he be that second round steal?
Yeah,
a lot of people are high on him, like the best corner in the draft in 2017.
Agreed,
he's gonna play. He's got to step it up. We've seen what he can do in key moments. Can he do it for all game? Can he do it? And I think he can.
Marquez, the Schwartz in that zero coverage. They were scared to turn around because they knew Malcolm blitz and they had no help. And it's not a bad point.
Yeah, no, I would also agree with Sidney just because of the position, right? Ralph, you said it. You brought in enough guys at wide receiver to where if JJ doesn't make that jump, you have other guys. What up, Julio? You have other guys that can take that spot, right?
Yeah.
The drop off at the cornerback position, especially on the outside, is much steeper than it is at the wide receiver position.
Oh, absolutely. Because I guess
I'm done. 1 in 15 ain't bad. You're going to need that replacement for Stafford sooner or later.
Yeah, and listen, you'll get Patricia out of there. It'll be a one-way ticket. It'll be a one-way ticket to get Matt Patricia out of there.
Just think about it.
He can't coach.
You guys could have had Gronk, but you wanted to be selfish.
I mean, it is no offense, Don, but it is Detroit.
Yeah. I mean, you see what they did to friggin' Calvin Johnson. I mean, God.
One of my good friends played hockey in Detroit. There's not much up there.
Let's see. Eagle has landed. I'm sorry. We'll get to that comment in a second. Gordster, Mr. Toaster.
Oh, Gordster Toaster. I like it.
He says, would Logan Ryan or Clowney be more helpful to this football team? What do you guys think? And what offense is there? Anyone on that you want? So basically, which offensive player do we want that's available?
Well, didn't Logan Ryan just get signed?
I know that
it's not official.
It's not official. It's with the Jets, correct?
Yeah.
Nothing official with Logan Ryan. Haven't heard anything with Clowney.
I think I would bring in Logan Ryan still.
As just insurance for Sidney. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely.
And why it had to be insurance? Just bring him in general.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. You know I'm just saying that to the people that are saying, "Oh, you can't bury Sidney just because he was a second round." You know what I'm saying?
I mean, no, I get you, and I agree to a point with that one. But again, kind of like the running back room, right? If you can bring me in somebody that's better, then let's go.
I hate to reignite this, but I look at it the same way as the left tackle position. If I can improve my football team and supply insurance at a cheap price, I'm going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to, you know what I mean? It's not like I'm putting $20 million into a Logan Ryan.
Right. Now, Clowney might cost you 20, but
man, there's no shot in doing that. I'll give him. I'll give him 1 year 15. 1 year 15.
Well, I mean, 1 year 20, it's same thing. It doesn't matter at this point, right? For a 1 year deal, I agree with what Tom said earlier. I'd rather have Everson Griffin, even though he's older. But at this point in the offseason, I wouldn't mind Clowney for a 1 year. With this offensive line, he might actually show up.
Yep. Julio says, "Hey guys, missed a few shows this week because I've been busy with finals. Great show so far. Thanks, brother."
Well, hope you did well.
Good luck on the finals, bro.
Yeah.
Yep. Good luck on the finals.
I think Vegas is reopened, right, Julio? What's Vegas like?
Gavin Keller says, "Hey, ATD, you guys might get more money from JJ Trilla." For anyone who doesn't know what that means, JJ's been, and anybody who wants to.
Hey, we have a super chat.
Yeah, if you want to get your comments read, show some support to A2D. We appreciate it. Yeah, but Bryce, is that official? I'm not aware of that. I just know that they're in speaking terms. I'm not sure if that's actually official. Brandon says Clowney can't stay healthy, and then Tars follows up with, "I would love Clowney." Yeah, I mean, I think we would all take Clowney on the right price.
Yeah, or just the right deal. Whatever price is that for a 1-year deal, again, means nothing because it comes off after this year, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're right. If I'm going to sign him to a multi-year deal, yeah, I don't go over 15. But if it's for a 1-year deal and he wants 18, then we got the room at this point.
Let's see. This is somebody mentioned this earlier. This is a good name. What about reuniting with Ziggy Ansah? Because obviously Schwartz, obviously chemistry with him.
My only issue with Ziggy is a little older.
Yeah.
I think he's mid-30s at this point, 33.
Yeah, mid-30s, and he was with Seattle, and towards the end of his career with Detroit, he was getting banged up a lot, and that's the reason why he got cut. Same thing when he went to Seattle last year, he was really banged up, didn't really get step on the field that much. Yep. And Seattle obviously is a free agent. And don't forget, fellas, who drafted Darius Slay? Jim Schwartz drafted Darius Slay when he was the head coach in Detroit. Yeah. So there's already a familiarity there with Slay and Schwartz. I
almost look at if we brought in a Ziggy Ansah, and again, this would be for cheap. Who did we bring in a couple years ago? I forget his name. He used to be a really good player on the Ravens. Depth guy, older guy.
Haloti Ngata?
Thank you. Yes, It would be something like that. You know what I mean? Just depth, veteran, 1-year deal, see what he has, bringing him into obviously a very familiar environment with a guy like Jim Schwartz, working with him. I would be fine with that.
That to me, the Ziggy Ansah to me is the Vinny Curry signing last year.
Oh yeah, that's even better. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, hey, we know what Vinny can do. Obviously, Schwartz knows what Ziggy can do, and he's a 1-year deal. He's obviously not going to be a starter, but would just add depth to that, to where you're not say, and we all think he is, but say Jannard Avery doesn't take a step forward, or Josh Sweat gets hurt again. Now you're not really relying on Sharif Miller, year 2.
Or Deshaun Hall.
Well, Sharif Miller didn't even sniff the field last year.
Well, yeah, no, I know that. And that says something as a 3rd-round pick.
Yeah. Yep.
I love the kid because he's a Penn State.
Didn't he get hurt?
No.
Oh, no.
Who was the kid who got hurt? I know it was Deshaun, but I thought it was another guy. Oh.
There was a lot of them.
Okay. Kansas City Chokes, love the name. He says, "Hey guys, how are you y'all feeling about guys like Shady and JP coming back, contract and cap wise too?" We'll take it.
Both
I mean,
Ralphie with me for Shady, Jason Peters. I know. Me, Ryan, Ralph. We were talking about months ago in the old studio about Jason Peters coming back. I would not be. I'm not a fan of bringing him back, but I can understand why the Eagles will sign him. So I'm very indifferent on it.
Wallace Pratt says, "I like the offseason moves. I think both sides of the ball got better." Thoughts? Yeah, I would agree. I would say that, right now we're more confident on the defense. Correct, guys? Just because there's more proven guys, except for obviously the linebacker.
Yeah, defensive side of the ball got a lot better. Offensive side of the ball, we'll see.
A lot of it's kind of project. You know what I mean?
And we said this, I think 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, or even after the draft happened, that, if you look at the defensive side of the ball, you brought in guys that actually, stepped onto the NFL. It got, has the feel for the NFL. The offensive side of the ball, not that much.
There's Trilla. Eagles fans can't donate $1. Listen,
wow.
Man. Listen, man. Is that a challenge, Eagles fans?
Wow.
Do we hear $3? Do we hear $3?
Three. Raising it up to 5. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. 10, 10, 10, 15, 15, 15.
You see, even though you're
100.
Jay Trilla, I appreciate you because listen, you donate just to talk trash. I like your style. Let's see. John Malmo says, how bad is our left tackle when our first round pick last year can't play? JP, Mr. False Start, getting beat on the outside, beat up on a bull rush, and can't stay on the field. Hello, Carson's blind side. Ralphie, you want to take this one?
Andre Diller's going to be your left tackle.
Put him on the solo shot. Oh, I thought you were going to explain more.
What?
That's it? That's all you have to say?
What, for Andre Dillard? I've said my piece for a couple weeks, so.
Repeat it again for the audience.
Wait, what does that mean? Corey Youngland failed his drug test. What is that? You want to dodge the bullet there, Don.
Well, there's a couple of coaches from the old Miami Dolphins regime a couple of years ago that wouldn't pass drug test either.
Mr. Toaster says, would you guys be good with the MLB keeping the new format of 82 games and possibly having 3 divisions instead of 6 for the upcoming years? What do you think? We're going to save that. We're going to wait a couple minutes until Tom gets back because that's our next topic. So
I think
wait a couple more minutes.
Fell in.
Did we already get through the whole secondary?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, so what was our final scores?
Well, I thought we were just touching on the corners.
Well, Tom did.
No, we did save. We did.
And then for some reason they all got combined.
Yeah.
Did Tom want to wait till for him with the safeties, or he could buy them all?
Hey, thank you, Burrito.
There we go. $2.
Thank Burrito.
Three.
I lost my train of thought. No. Did we do all secondary, or did we just do?
Yeah, we combined.
Tom wanted to wait for safeties.
No, we combined both of them because we had the Malcolm Jenkins. Remember, you had Malcolm Jenkins in there.
No, I wasn't here.
Oh yeah. So we combined the corners and the safeties.
So Greg, I'll ask you since you missed it, which secondary 2019 or 2020 is better?
Well, when you combine into one, it kind of throws me off a little bit.
Yeah, that was the issue with me.
I didn't combine it.
If I look at cornerback right now, 2020, because we have an absolute number 1 cornerback.
Why does it confuse you to combine a secondary? Is this fucking child's play?
No, not at all.
And then, right, what are you doing throwing your hands up and agreeing with this jabroni, right?
It is 2 separate positions.
What's a secondary? Yeah. Secondaries combined is a 9, is a 1. Are they all back there together? Did I miss something?
No, they are.
Then now it's not one unit. Now we're going to
what I was getting into.
It's less confusing. Separate the units. Please do. I don't want to confuse anybody. God forbid. Please separate the units.
It was just confusing because I was looking at cornerbacks. I would give the absolute nod to 2020. Mm-hmm. Safety is a little different because I would factor in the Malcolm versus Jalen and stuff like that. So if I'm combining it, then maybe I have to look in my head real quick, and there's not much there as to how much weight I give Malcolm over Jalen and Kayvon and stuff like that going into this year. I would probably give it a nod to 2020.
No.
Again, just going back to looking at what we have at our quarterback position, and Darius Slay as our number 1. We lacked that desperately last year. So I'll go 2020.
Yeah, I mean, to me,
the entire secondary.
It doesn't matter if it's combined or not. I think they're both better, honestly. I think the safeties are better because, Malcolm, I was kind of over the Malcolm thing.
Was Malcolm even playing safety last year? I mean, at times he was playing. It was at points he was playing more linebacker. It seemed like to me he was playing more linebacker than safety. I mean, it got to the point where you saw more Malcolm at the line of scrimmage than in center field. So, was he really a safety down towards the end of the stretch, or even for the whole entire season?
Linebacker.
Yeah. So I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, but we also, but to that point though, now you're moving Jalen to a new position, and I'm not saying he can't handle it, and I'm not saying he's not going to be better, but there's a transition there, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, especially because they talked about, Mills, he's not just going to be playing safety. He's going to be playing kind of a hybrid role, depending on matchups, depending on where they are on the field, between cornerbacks. So I think that works. I do. It's clear to me, again, especially with, and I'm not trying to overrate, a 3rd, 4th round pick, but, clearly I'm a fan of Kevon Wallace. They clearly show that they have a plan. It wasn't, we're just going to move on from Malcolm and just put Band-Aids there. They have a plan to where they're going to move Jalen Mills back to his original position. You're going to bring back McLeod, who can play. Sorry, Chucks, I think he can play. Will Parks is going to be a depth guy who you're just bringing in to be better than Sendejo and obviously Corey Graham. And then you're going to have Jalen Mills again. Sometimes he's going to be playing corner, sometimes he's not. Sometimes he's going to be playing safety.
Well, listen, he's coming in as your starting safety. Will Parks, look at JJ again. No notes. Wentz is not a top 5 or maybe top 10, maybe 13-ish. Well, we'll agree to disagree on that, Jay. All right. But what I'm going to tell you is about the safety position, it's Jalen Mills' position to lose. So I don't believe Will Parks is coming in and beating him out for the job back there. I just don't believe that. Now, Kevon Wallace, I'm a huge fan of. But I don't believe year 1 he comes in and wins that job. Just not, how a 4th round pick usually operates in this league.
Right.
I just don't see it. And the one thing I can say Jalen Mills will do better at the safety position than Malcolm did and Rodney did as more of a center fielder is take the ball away. And that's the key. You want some ball hawks. I think he'll do a better job as your center fielder coverage-wise than Rodney was able to do. I think you'll see Rodney more in the box. But the big thing everybody's missing is the main reason Malcolm had to play more in the box last year is you didn't have a nickel corner that could cover enough. So that's the big issue. And that's what people are sort of forgetting. They use them almost as like a slot corner / linebacker. So that's what a lot of people are missing. That's where the addition of Roby Coleman allows now Jim Schwartz's defense to change it a little bit and allows him to play them two on, almost like a cover two in a way where them two can stay over top a little bit more. Where now you'll see McLeod come down the box a tiny bit more, and that's the difference. So what you're doing,
brother.
Yeah, right.
Sorry, no.
But you know what I'm saying, guys? So
yeah, absolutely.
So that frees up.
No, you're completely right. Yeah.
Well, and also Malcolm came into this league as a corner. He obviously got moved to safety, and there's a reason for that as well.
And then he got moved to like corner again. In a way, like what we did to him. He almost got, he almost had to play all the slot guys, and I don't think he was ever built for that. And I still think.
These last 2 years, Malcolm really didn't play the safety position at all. No. Every time you looked on your television or you looked down on the field, if you were at the stadium, he was towards the line of scrimmage. It was near the line of scrimmage.
It was always one over top, and it was always Rodney.
It was always Rodney. Yeah,
Rodney's not built to be left on an island back there by himself.
Nah.
Yep. And you look at when this secondary was top notch was 2017 when we had Patrick Robinson.
Yeah.
You had a solid slot guy, and to that point, you get Roby Coleman, and you change it and you give that other option there.
Absolutely. And I think Roby Coleman can be your slot guy, and he stays there. And now you just got, you have Slay on the outside, and then you could put whoever on the other outside. No. I think that's going to be Sidney.
Yeah, Lord, I don't think it's underappreciated because I think we appreciate fully what he's done here. But I think at the downside of his career, in my opinion, that it was time, you hate to say it, but it was time to move on because you weren't going to pay that money. But it's not underappreciate. It's trying to look like, okay, how can we get better with a loss? And that's what we're looking at. So, I wouldn't take it as underappreciated because everybody on this panel and everybody here at A2D appreciates everything Malcolm Jenkins has not only done for the city, it's not only done off the field, because nobody in the sports media in Philadelphia will praise an athlete more for what he's done off the field than I will for Malcolm Jenkins, okay? Because I'm a big believer in separating the two, all right? There's football. There's concentrating on football when it's football time, right? When it's not football time, he does a tremendous job off the field and separating the two.
He does.
Malcolm Jenkins, a great leader on and off the field, and everything he's did for the movement and the stuff he's done is tremendous off the field. And I love that he separated the two. So nobody in sports media here in Philadelphia is going to give a guy more credit for what he's done on and off the field. But again, times run out, and this time just ran out here because of the money.
But a lot of it was because you're right, Lord, is our linebacking core was weak last year. So, yeah, he had to come down a little bit more often than we probably want to towards the tail end of it. And there's no doubt about that.
It was a combo, Lord. It was lack of linebackers, lack of slot corners. It was almost like a combo that sort of forced him down there a little bit more. But, Lord, I completely agree with you. I just don't want you to think you take it underappreciated because that's not what we mean here. You know what I mean? Like, I might say Brandon Graham's the bigger leader of the defense, but it's not a shot at Malcolm. It's more just like, you know what? I love the guy, but at 32, I'm not giving you that money. Because to me, Jalen Mills is a leader of this defense too. Now, can he go back to a more natural position and be able to be productive back there? I think so. Now, Malcolm, is he going to be Malcolm? I don't know, but Malcolm numbers weren't off the charts. It's not like he was taking the football away a ton. It's not like he was creating a ton of fumbles. The one thing we know about Jalen is he has no problem getting his beak wet tackle-wise. So you'd assume the physicality will still be there from him, like Malcolm had. If you want to compare the two, it's a tough comparison. But Malcolm gave almost handed him the torch as he left. That says a lot too. It says a lot when the leader, as he leaves, gives a torch over to a guy like Jalen and shows his love on social media platforms for Jalen. There's a lot of respect there. A lot of respect, and I think as outsiders to it, we have to show that respect too. If one of your leaders is torch passing, right? We have to assume that next guy he believes can play that spot too, right? That's all. Not a Crown Jalen Mills moment here at all. It's just, hey, let's believe that he can play there. I believe in the guy. I believe in his tough.
Jalen's going to have some huge shoes to fill. I mean, replacing
Malcolm. No doubt, Frank. Absolutely.
So
it showed they had a plan. Again,
it showed they had a plan, and the torch has passed. I appreciate Malcolm for everything he's done. Especially with his leadership on the field during the Super Bowl run. His platforms. I support some of his platforms around the community. He will be missed in Philly, and I wish him the best of luck in New Orleans. But the time ran out in Philly, and it's a business.
Absolutely.
When all is said and done,
you could hold two of these to my head right now, and say, Tom, one's got to go, and I'm probably keeping the younger one.
Yeah.
Who I've seen production from, who I've worked with as well.
The reports came out after he signed with the Saints too that there was mutual feelings between him and the Eagles, but it's just that the Eagles didn't want to give him the money.
And it would have
and he's 31 years old.
It would have completely contradicted everything that they were trying to do. They preached and preached and preached and preached. Younger. It would have been completely contradictory for them to go younger everywhere else, but then give the most guaranteed money with a ton of years to a guy who, I get it, he's a leader, but again, he declined on the field.
You brought two back for one.
Exactly.
Think about this for a second.
For cheaper, and again, you could develop him, and he's going to be better.
You brought back two, right, for the price of one, because you brought back McLeod and Mills, and let Malcolm go. Think about that, guys, for a second. Which two would you, if you could have two for one? I'm taking them too.
Yep.
At this point, I'm going to take two. At this point, yes.
And then they drafted a kid too. They drafted a kid who he's at a legitimate school, not a kid from freaking Liberty.
I completely agree there. Kayvon Wallace, I had it on all my mocks. all my mocks, Kayvon Wallace was there in the third round. I thought he was a steal in the fourth round. I just don't expect him to come in and start right away. I do agree. Team captain, that's the kind of locker room we try to build here, as you guys can see through the draft again. We try to build these team captains, these leaders, and bring these guys in that not, I don't want to say fit in, but just want to win football games, right? And that's what we're looking for. Guys that say, you know what, I'm not selfish. I'm not selfish. I'm going to come in. I'm going to step in my role. I'm going to play the best I can. They're the kind of guys we're looking for. Kayvon Wallace will be a starter here one day, just not this year. And I think it depends on how Jalen translates to the safety position too. So a lot depends on when that time comes. But I'm a big Kayvon Wallace guy. Look at Taylor Barrett. Look at you guys. Look at you guys.
Let's go.
Look at you guys.
$2, baby.
I love it. Look at listen. Appreciate.
That's two McDoubles.
We can't appreciate it.
Rain. We're making it rain.
Making it rain 2 nights in a row. Look at this. Cowboys go 8-8. Dak chokes again. Bank it. Taylor, I love it because they all want to freaking forget. They all want to forget what happened at the link with a bunch of practice squad characters. They want to forget it like it didn't happen to them as they got exposed. You frauds. That's all they are. They're frauds. They're lack of achievement. They underachieve constantly, right? This is what's going to be. Oh, everybody's going to talk about Cowboys 12-4, CeeDee Lamb. Here they come, and they go 9-7. They go 9-7 again and don't make the playoffs. You hate to see it, but here it comes again, Cowboys fans, because your defense isn't good enough now to me. It downgraded. Now, I love Diggs because I'm a Bama cat. I love Diggs. But, again, you got a rookie out there. Your second corners, I don't know who the hell it is. You got issues in your secondary a little bit, Dallas. So be careful because all we're doing is running 4-2s around this bitch. Granted, it's pro day 4-2s, but we're going to count it because it's an agenda.
We saw when that offensive line was banged up a little bit last year how much of a train wreck it was. Now they're going to be without that center, who was Pro Football Focus's best center since 2013.
Wait, am I clueless?
What happened?
Oh, no. He's talking about they're Dank Burrito and No Ma'am are going at it.
Gotcha. Continue. Sorry.
No, you're good. So, again, as much as we want to bang on the defense, which I completely agree with, it seemed like they absolutely ignored it this offseason. Who's playing center? The kid that you got in the 4th, 5th round to replace Travis Frederick? Okay. All right. Have fun.
Good luck.
Have fun.
Good luck. It's just, we know what the Cowboys are going to do. I don't even got to talk about it anymore. And I'm going to respect the Cowboy guy when they're good. But what I saw last year was another like what my man Tara said. I hope I'm saying his name right too, brother. Another train wreck coming, and what does America love? That's why they're America's team, because America loves train wrecks. Mike dropped that one too. Cut that
Train
tape
wreck.
right there. America. That's why they're America's team. America loves train wrecks. Look at that on the fly. No notes on that one, Greg. On the fly. Oh, I got you, Dank. My bad. I just read the prompter. I see stuff. And
Sometimes, thank
I thought you remember. I thought it was about Kayvon, and I was like, "Well, I love Kayvon." That's what I thought you were saying, like, because I didn't think he would start right away. But I'm like, I love him. I think he will be. Shit, I would have drafted him over Hurts in the second. So you don't got to tell me. I mean, I think he's hell of a talented, and the only reason he dropped is because we saw what happened to most of the DBs in the draft. It dropped from the first round on, which then fell everybody. Everybody fell. Everybody lost money. Mama, don't make me a DB. I mean, that's what happened. Like, what happened? It don't matter anymore. You quarterback or left tackle, that's all that matters. Because that game's going to start being played. Where are we at? All right, so you guys want to, before we wrap up, we want to get into the MLB's return proposal.
Yep, there was a
Do it.
question.
Stamp
Yep,
it.
somebody even asked about
Approved.
Yeah, somebody did that. Yeah.
So it's a proposal that obviously the owners in Major League Baseball have approved, but now you have to wait on the players. And I wanted to pull that up. Let me see if I still can, because there's like 5 or 6 things in the MLB's offer here.
Frank, who
What
put
is
that
that
comment
like?
in here? I was trying to find it.
Let me find it while
Was it like 82 games.
Yeah, he was talking about the 82 game season.
Yeah, I know exactly what it is. Once I say it again.
I got you, Mr. Toaster.
Toaster, yep. Sports or toaster.
While you're doing that, Eagle has landed says, how much of an impact do you guys think Will Parks will have on the defense?
Hey, $10.
There you go, Mr. D-Love. Appreciate it.
All right. That's a Big Mac meal. Nice.
Look, Ralphie's getting fed tonight. Ralphie's getting fed
Look at that
tonight.
one up there.
He's going sweet tea, though. He's not going soda.
Right, yeah, sweet tea.
We appreciate it.
Maybe a water cup.
All these little donations just make A2D bigger, and that's why we ain't going nowhere, because we're here for you guys. That's the end of the day. We're here for you guys. We're the voice of the freaking people. That's why we read every goddamn comment. We don't big-time comments here, and we'll never do it here like other agendas do. When we see them out there, and all you got to do is click unfollow and follow here, and you're golden. And life's set up perfectly for you in terms of the sports world.
See, even Taurus gets it, because Taurus, we were going back and forth with Taurus about Carlos Hyde at the beginning. Just chimed in. All right, fellas, enjoy your night. Great talk. Flag was fly. See, come full circle, man. Come full circle.
Does anybody have it? Because for some reason I'm having trouble finding the exact.
Mr. Vespe, you want to look at it since you're doing the screen share?
Yeah, hold on. Let me look for it.
Don,
damn it. That's all.
Don, talk about D-Love's comment. He says that amount of money to bring back Jason Peters. Talking about the 10. Talking about the 10.
Jason Peters donations. Let's get him back, Ralph. This is where it starts. Here we go. Okay.
5 cents a day will bring back Jason Peters.
So in like broad terms, here it is, right? A 50-50 split of revenue from the 2020 season, okay? An 82-game schedule instead of the standard 162, obviously. Yeah. A mid-June spring training and early July opening day, which we sort of knew already. A 14-team postseason rather than the typical 10, okay? Which extends playing time a little bit, obviously, okay? Games played in home stadiums were allowed, all right? That's the interesting part. Designated hitters in the American National League. I mean, I don't care about that. Just play baseball. Games against only divisional and regional opponents, like AL West teams, for example, play AL West, NL West teams. You know what I mean? So NL East plays AL East, that type of deal. Expanded
for the whole year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. They keep it close quarters around each other.
You don't have to fly long distances.
Yeah.
So basically, it's 82 games, but it's all in division, basically.
And the AL East. So you'll play like both.
If only Julio knew how much of an insult that was.
Expanded rosters from 26 to as many as 30 active players, with a 20-man taxi squad of minor league players and prospects. Okay. no fans to begin the season.
I know, Andy. We don't have Whataburger and In-N-Out up here. I know. It's a shame.
It's tragic.
So if you're a player, Tommy, you saying yes to that? 82 games, and you only play your division for the whole entire year. Right? Because that's how it is, right? You don't play.
Yeah. But part of the early talk, and I'm sure it's worked into the full proposal, is at least this was the discussion early on when they were potentially thinking about a shortened season, is your stats and stuff will be weighted and graded as a full year. So like if you hit 30 home runs, they're going to say, you might have hit 45 for those guys that are going up against arbitration and for like free agency years and stuff like that. They're going to have to somehow weight them against a full year without it costing them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Got you on that. Well, that's going to be different. Just divisional games. That's going to be weird.
Yeah, it's funny. I saw on Twitter the other day that Mark Teixeira, a guy who stole a whole bunch of money, especially late in his career, came out and was like, you have to play, kind of saying the players have to play. And I, him specifically wouldn't want to lose a year of his career just based off of a couple cents. He would play for pennies on a dollar. But again, Mark Teixeira signed a couple big-time deals to where his pennies on the dollar is a lot different than some of these other guys' pennies on a dollar.
Yeah.
So it's tough.
This is the problem. This is the problem. What concerns is the players here is, and it's easy, is the revenue split. Okay? Because what happens is it then puts a salary cap on baseball. Okay? And it's a 50-50 split of everything from all revenues combined like the other sports do. Okay? So now it creates a salary cap. And when you talk about the MLBPA in Major League Baseball, there is no cap.
Right.
So I think this is where you run into it as a player where, because teams can pay us whatever they want because there is no cap. So I think this frightens players a little bit. Like, is this going to lead towards a cap after this too moving forward? So I think that's why they're probably a little concerned about this deal. Other than that, in terms of making money, I don't, making money is making money. They all need to. But the other things in the deal I think are semi-irrelevant. I think that's going to be the big sticking point, whether they are willing to say, okay, we're going to put a cap in for a year.
And the other side of it too, Tommy, to that point is you're doing a revenue split. How much revenue are you generating if there's no fans? Right? Because that's all part of revenue. You know what I mean? Like, you got
to a Marlins game.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, because everybody's going to be different. So national TV money is estimated about $1.7 billion a year. So,
Yeah, no, you're right. You got the TV money. You're going to have the advertising. And you're right, all that. But you're also going to lose ticket sales. You're going to lose merch sales. You're going to lose concession, game day stuff like that. Where obviously a team like the Phillies who sell out more games than the teams like the Marlins. Would that how that would impact, but you're right. It ends up turning into, Marlins and Orioles, those type of players are like, yeah, let's go.
Those are estimated to be about a $6.7 billion 82-game season plus playoffs. So $6.7 billion is estimated through an 82-game season and including the expanded playoffs. Because they calculate their money
right
from what they made. $6.7 billion on a revenue split gets it done to me. It will. So it comes down to the numbers, and people smarter than me with math that think, okay, there are estimates really going to come true because that's what the players are concerned about, right? Because now you sort of go away from that guaranteed money right now. You see what's happening right now. The guaranteed money almost goes away because everything's washed away. The season's different. Now we have to sign a new collective bargaining agreement for this year. So it changes things. So now players got to go in and say, okay, are the risks worth what I'm going to make? So now like Sean Doolittle, other guys are already talking. Is the risk worth the reward? Is it going to be? So that's the sticking point. I would say 90% of players are going to sign on the dotted line, and you're going to have your 10% that are going to fight back a little bit. You know what I mean? And not fully agree on it. So I think that's about where we're at. Because 90%, listen, 95% of Major League players are not guaranteed money through this. So you have to factor it in. 5% of the league. That's not a lot of guys. It's not a lot of guys. So a lot of these guys are going to be signing that. You might have your 5% that are guaranteed their money. That's where you're going to run into your hiccups a little bit here. So that's how I look at it. That's how I break it down.
And you're right. What 5% are they? Are they the high price guys to where they might carry a little bit more weight with their voice, or are they the lower level guys where everyone's like, all right, well, just for names, well, Trout, Harper, Verlander, these guys are all on board, and Trey Mancini isn't on board. Just just throwing a name out there. You know what I mean?
Then hanging home, Trey.
Yeah, exactly.
Stay home. You'll be all right. We'll survive without you. But at the end of the day, we need it back. I understand still the concerns because there is from people out there. I'm not going to CDC official this and turn this into anything like that. I understand the concerns. I understand my want for baseball back in a selfish way. I understand our want for sports back in a selfish way. They're doing it the right way. They're game planning it. They're thinking about it. Even the NHL says, "Hey, I haven't even thought about canceling yet." So everybody wants to play because when you talk about dollars and cents, ain't nobody in the business of losing money, or these guys got to where they got to. So when you factor that in, they're going to try to. They're going to try to. It depends on how this goes. When you talk about Florida saying, "Hey, we're open for everybody," come on, okay. But then if numbers, God forbid, spike down there, it changes the whole scenario. So there's factors on why they're still, it's sort of still dragging on along. A little slow along here too, because I think when you talk about it, Greg, guys, there's uncertainty for some players too.
Oh, absolutely.
And you don't want to be the first ones that we always talk about it. Like let 99 people put their foot in shark infested waters before you become the 100th. Test it out a little bit first, right? I'm never gonna be the first one back to my gig. Let me see some other teams do it for a minute. It's just not how I operate with this kind of thing because I don't know. I'm not going to believe what I read, period, anymore. Period. Nothing means nothing. You know what I mean? So when I look at this stuff, when it comes to the owners are pushing it, man, because it's a lot of money.
Yep.
Yeah. You talk about billions of dollars. Of course they're pushing this. So players who have families, that's where you're getting that. That's where you're getting a hold up. That's
where you're getting the tug of war at. Yeah, the tug of war.
This would have been signed Tuesday. It would have been signed yesterday, guys. That's when it was proposed. If it was a great deal and they thought it was a money deal, it's signed. The revenue split's the scary thing because it changes now to a salary cap situation where the money you're making, everything's going to be depending on what you make. So they're going to load up because everybody's going to watch. So that's why they're trying to be the first ones back. And now the NBA, like Bryce said, is going to make a decision in 2 to 4 weeks. They're the starter to me. They're the starter. If the NBA comes back, they're all going to follow suit.
Oh, absolutely.
But I do believe I do still have a weird feeling that baseball could be the first one back signed, but it's all dependent on these players want to do it.
And I think with them not, with this proposal at least, them not stating that they want to do a centralized location gives the players a little bit more acceptance to the deal outside of your right to the revenue sharing because obviously you don't want to be away from your family for 4 months regardless of what situation you have, let alone the likes of like Trouty and Wheeler just had his first kid and stuff like that. So they don't want to be away from their family. No one wants to be away from their family for that long. So the fact that they're able to stay home or be home at their home parks and only travel small distances probably allows them a little bit of ease on that portion of it versus, hey, everyone's going to be in Florida, everyone's going to be in Arizona, and you're only going to be with your team. You're not going to have your family with you.
No, I thought that was a huge part of it early on too. So, I think it's important. So, boys, you want to do dumbest thing?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Mr. Greg, you want to lead us off?
Yeah, I'll go start. My dumbest thing of the week is Mr. Henry Cejudo. Retiring because he's got a girlfriend at home now. He retired, the 2-division champ, his quote unquote, combat sports GOAT of all time. I don't know. He's got a good case for it. But his biggest reason for retiring was now he has a girlfriend at home. And bro,
who's the girlfriend?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. He just says, I got a new girl at home. I want to spend some time. She don't want to spend time with you. She loves when you're away at camp. She don't want to be around you 24/7. So everyone knows he wants more money. He's not really retired. He just wants a bigger payday. So don't come out and give us this spiel about you got a new girl.
That's not Nikki Bella, is it? Is he dating Nikki Bella?
No, he's not dating Nikki Bella.
Oh, it popped up.
Did it really?
Yeah.
No, she's dating. Nikki Bella is dating, and
I don't follow these people. I have no idea. I just read what was on the prompter.
She's pregnant from the dude from the dancer she was with on Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, I don't know who that is. I don't know who that person is. Don says the dumbest thing of the week was letting Slay go, and I'm still not over it. As a Detroit Lions fan,
I might have to retake on that because it's Amanda Delago Chevis. She's a Brazilian. Yeah, I might. She looks like Nikki Bella. That's probably where it came from.
Okay, I gotcha.
She kind of looks like it. Yeah, I might retire over that.
Oh, Artem, some guy named Artem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Julio says that Eagles fan that was happy we got Hurts to start for Carson to be a backup. That's alluding to the post on our social media. The guy who couldn't spell the. Yeah, it was pretty bad. Anyone who wants to go see a train wreck, go to one of our posts on social media from earlier this afternoon if you want a good laugh. Tom, dumbest thing of the week?
Well, there you go.
There you go.
You know, if you want to make a case that he's here to be the guy down the road because you don't trust the injuries and in 4 years you think he's going to have to play, then go ahead and be that guy, right? But to be the guy that thinks like he's going to come in and be the guy right away, like that's just delusional. You know, I don't want to make fun of somebody, but I feel like you're not smart. You don't watch football. You can't spell. And the list goes on. And I think most people that are on that side are the biggest idiots that ever talk professional sports. So I think,
and that's why the PHIX has the lemon bowl. It's named after stupid comments like that.
You know, I think if you're doing podcasts and you're promoting that you don't believe in 11 and you think Hurts is the guy, I think you should cancel him. You know, I think you should get out of mom's basement immediately and just take a walk around the block and try to regain your thoughts because it's stupid. Again, if you don't believe in Carson in 4 years and you believe the injuries will take their toll, then so be it again, right? I can't argue that because, you know, how do I argue the future? I don't have a crystal ball when it comes to that, right? So if you want to make that argument and you believe in Jalen Hurts as that pick, the future, then run with that, run alongside that train then. Enjoy that, okay? Because I'm not even talking about you people because you people are idiots too, but I'm talking about the people that believe this guy's going to come in and start or compete for the job or that were excited about the pick. Go away already. Go away. Run away. Stop posting in groups. Stop. Like somebody get you to shut your Facebook down or social media accounts, please. That's mine.
I'll go real quick. I got to go friendly fire here. I got to go 3 of my guys last night. And I don't listen. It's all about uniting as one right now through these tough times. But I got to be divisive for a second. I got to put Mr. Chrome, Mr. Chucks, and Mr. Kevin Godwin on this list. Because Tom, I mean, listen, you and I had a front row seat to it last night. Some things were
coming from the QB guy.
I didn't say that. Listen, I didn't say that. I never said those words. Some things were said last night, and it started with Carson being taken number 2 overall. Chuck's trying to say that I'm not going to take Russell Wilson because I don't think he's going to be able to stay healthy. And you take a guy who literally can't stay healthy in Carson. And I love Carson. Then shortly afterwards,
What?
Mr. Kevin Godwin. Yeah, Ralph. It's on tape. Go back and watch. It was a great show. It was fun.
Yeah.
Mr. Kevin Godwin trying to convince us that Jimmy G's a lock top 10 quarterback. What? And he was saying that he put the team on his back, even though he threw the ball like 6, 7, 8 times in the playoffs, and just saw the defense be like, "Oh, hi, I'm Jimmy. I'm just going to watch our team win the game for me." And then Mr. Chrome, for some reason, having some undying belief in Ryan Tannehill. I don't understand it. I don't know if it's because he used to play for the Dolphins. Ryan Tannehill's just a guy. He came in and he did pretty good last year. And when I say pretty good, he did a good job handing the ball off to Derrick Henry and say, "Bye, Derrick, run that way." Listen, we're all confident in certain guys. I took freaking old man Brady with number 8 pick, so you can take shots at me all day long. But there are some things that I'm like, oh, what do we do? What do we do? But if anyone missed the show, it was great. It's great.
Yeah, the most underrated team so far on the block here. Right? I'll take it. Somebody's got to be it. Russell Wilson falling laps.
He should have never gotten past 2.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you, brother. No, he shouldn't have got past 2. Because he
literally, if Jimmy G was an NFL quarterback, they win the Super Bowl.
Exactly. And Ryan Tannehill is very similar. So
yes, threw the ball 8 times in the first playoff game, 7 times in the second, but he put the team on his back. No, here, Derek, run that way.
mm-hmm.
I like Ryan Tannehill though. Seems like a good guy. Ralph.
I don't have one this week, to be honest.
Well, you're lucky because I have 2, so I could give one to you if
go.
you'd like.
No, Frank, you could take my spot.
Okay.
Glad you're locked in over there.
So my first
his hat's on.
Yeah.
So my first dumb thing of the week goes to Mike Francesca of WFAN.
Fall asleep again?
Hmm?
Did he fall asleep on the air?
Yeah,
Again?
he was making some. He was going crazy about CC Sabathia's weight loss.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah, I mean Sabathia looks amazing. I mean, good for you.
I know, Gavin. I know. But you know a guy. It takes 5 seconds.
But he goes on this weird rant about
Greg do it to me all the time.
CC.
There's nothing on to get mad about. Nobody's doing shows.
I'm with you, Ralph. I get
There's
you.
nothing
Ralph.
on.
Somebody say something bad to you about video games or something, Ralph?
Sorry, Frank. Get back to Francesca.
All right, so Francesca was like, wish I could pull up the rant, but because of certain copyright rules.
What do you say, Frank?
He says, do you think because he lost weight at this age and now breathes life into a left arm that was done? And then he also says, does it make him a pitching prospect? No, it doesn't. So.
And what's your second one?
My second one goes to the Rams and those hideous uniforms they brought out. Holy,
looks like
You don't like them, Frank?
they
You're a
are
Jersey guy.
terrible. They are the worst things I have ever seen. Like you ruined one of the most timeless helmets. Like the Rams were the first team to put logos on helmets. They had the same consistent look since 1948. And then you said break with tradition, break the horns in half.
Yep.
It looks stupid.
God
The gradients look stupid. They look like they should work at a freaking furniture store.
Yep.
The away jerseys, they color them bone. You might as well call them boners because in the dictionary, a boner means a stupid mistake. And you know what else is a stupid mistake? These new uniforms of the Rams.
Yep.
So
Tell him, Frank.
they are hideous.
Yep.
he's got props.
Hideous.
Horrendous.
He's got props. He's got props.
I love it. Let him know.
Hideous. And even Jim Everett.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
that was
well
like the greatest
played.
thing ever. Oh.
Still taking jabs.
Well played. I like it.
Well played, sir.
If there was a toilet paper shortage again, I'll take those Rams new uniforms and use them. So
Yep.
that's my second dumb thing of the week.
Well done, sir.
Oh, thank you, Bryce.
Rams, they are hideous. They're terrible.
Rosca, I know you're a Rams fan, and happy birthday. But how do you feel about those uniforms?
He probably likes them.
Probably. I wouldn't be shocked. They almost look like the Chargers' new uniforms.
Right, we get it. The cane's fucking empty.
There's still a little bit at the bottom.
Oh my god.
You know his answer. The Anaheim Ducks are going to go to the Stanley Cup or the Super Bowl or whatever.
Oh my god.
Comes out of his.
He's still trying to kill Corey Undlin.
So Tom, you missed that when you were away. We gave the scouting report on Corey Undlin to Don. So ever since then, he's been trying to find ways to get rid of Corey Undlin.
Keep trying, brother. Still don't understand the hire.
Yeah, I saw that, Taylor. The name tags, like the patches don't even match. It's awful.
Best Buy, that's amazing.
They look like they could be Best Buy employees, IKEA employees. These are
Any employees, Frank?
Any employees.
That's what LA will do for you.
I know.
No, they will. They will. They want to get cute. They want to get cute out in Los Angeles, people. That's where people go to try to get cute. Not only with breast implants, then the butt implants came, and we were talking about the lips. So, and here we are in 2020, and the Rams trying to do their facelift, and it didn't go over well. Looking like an aging, like a 70-year-old still getting the lifts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and their product on the field keeps declining too.
Yeah, someone stop.
The only thing I do like about the Rams' new look, though, the one thing I do like, I like the ram head. That's the only thing I like of the new.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I like the ram head, but everything else, I mean, and the word mark too. I do like the word mark, but everything else, they done goofed. Yeah. Like they should have brought back the Rams horns on the sleeves, right?
Yeah, I agree.
And yes, I do think he has an impact. So, family, we want to thank you for tuning in to another combo show, PHIX/AM in the PM here on A2D Radio. Ooh, my ear things hurt. All right.
Thanks, Don. Well,
we want to tell everybody, obviously, now we're streaming back live to the main page on A2D Radio. But if you're on A2D Live, you can get us there as well. If you're not following on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch, you can subscribe, like, follow, keep us going, baby, because we love you. We're here for you guys. We want to thank our doc, Make Him Yours. That's Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, Burlington, Cherry Hill, Princeton locations. Find them on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. What's Chrome saying? Oh, he's talking to me. All right.
And Dan Burrito talking about a Tanzanian president.
Ambuck Services, AMBUCK services.com, 20% off. Tell them the boys from A2D sent you. Gutters, gutter guards, gutter installations, all that fun stuff. They got you covered over there at Ambuck Services. Joey Moffitt, I see you, baby. Thank you guys all for chiming in tonight.
Yeah, man.
For Tom
Birds,
Ryan Brodo, Frank Vespe, Greg Milakovic, Ralph Dellavecchio, the family out there joining us. Tomorrow night, lazy booking, hockey happy hour. Soak it in. Enjoy it. We out, peeps.
See you, boys.